Buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. September is Cholesterol Education Month, and it's time to take charge. So how is your cholesterol? For over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted partner in cholesterol support. I've relied on Rescue supplements for years. With Rescue, you'll find specific supplements tailored to your needs. Favorites like omega-3s, red yeast rice, and more. Right now, all you have to do is just use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, to double up your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Again, use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, buy one, get a matching Rescue cholesterol product for free. I've personally seen the firsthand benefits of Rescue supplements. They are incredible. Remember, use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, to double up your cholesterol support order for free today.
Dawn Stensland here. End your summer on a high note. You still have time to find yourself that new certified or pre-owned vehicle from my friends at the Piazza Auto Group. Piazza actually carries more than 1,200 pre-owned vehicles. That's at any given time. Not just the brands you've heard me talk about, like my Honda or Acura, Mazda, Hyundai, Volkswagen, but pretty much any other brand you can imagine. That's what I'm talking about. Selection. The power of Piazza Auto Group. PIAZZA Autogroup.com. Make sure you tell them Dawn sent you.
This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Matt Rooney on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Life is full of choices, boys and girls. I could open up tonight's Matt Rooney show by talking about, any number of things. Bob Menendez's second lifetime indictment. I could talk about the fact that Joe Biden is trailing Donald Trump by 10 points in the latest ABC Washington Post poll. Or I could focus on the fact that the one, the only, the lovely, the engaging, the intelligent Bella is live here in our studios this evening at 1210 WPHT.
You're not even going to mention that I'm here? You're just going to go straight to her?
You're not as important as me.
Yeah. Listen to the lady.
I literally run your show.
Not tonight.
Well, everyone here that's part of this program every Sunday night knows that you feel that way.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example, folks. I end up, and I'm very okay. Daniel, new rule: no hotkeys until we're at least 8 minutes in.
That's not a thing.
I was lucky enough to be on Fox News on Friday to talk about Bob Menendez's latest run-in with the law.
You're on Fox?
It was awesome. I'm just going to ignore that. Now, when I run into Dan, who's supposed to be my friend, and I also consider myself somewhat of a mentor to this troubled young man, you would think he'd say something like, "Hey, Matt, that was really cool. Congratulations, you were on national television. Wow, that was really special." He immediately tries to take credit for it. Hey, isn't that great that I got you on air? All the good work I do every week, isn't that awesome? We have all these people listening, and now you're on Fox. Isn't that something?
How come you didn't bring up the greatest segment on radio, Twit Talk? How come you didn't bring that up?
Why didn't I work that into the 5 minutes I had?
Yeah.
You're asking why that's not the thing that popped into my mind?
Yeah.
Look, maybe Bella finds your narcissism cute. I don't know.
It's not even narcissism.
What is it?
I don't know.
It's something that's undiagnosed.
Probably.
They don't have a medication for it.
Autism.
You can't say that, Daniel.
And we're 5 minutes in. Not even 5 minutes in. Well, technically 5 minutes in, and we already have an autism joke. Well, this is going to be a great program. I wish there was something other than coffee in this mug. But hey, you know what? Welcome, everyone. Back to the Matt Rooney Show here on 1210 WPHT. It's been a doozy of a week. In some bad ways, but also in some fun ways. And I say this every time we get together. I have trouble coming up with exactly what the hit list is going to be, what we're going to focus on, because of all of the news that's out there in the ether. And that's no more true tonight than any other week in some ways. But, oh, my God, I mean, there is 2024 news. We've got, as I already mentioned, a major scandal on my side of the river in the Dirty Jers, the Garden State, which potentially could have not just implications for New Jersey politics, but well beyond the boundary of our state. We also had a Senate announcement in Pennsylvania, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. So I don't know how we're going to get it all done in 3 hours, but we're going to do our darndest like we do every week here on the program. And we've also got some great guests tonight. I mean, obviously, first and foremost, Bella, welcome. It's an honor and a privilege to have you here.
I'm so flattered. Thank you.
And I did, for anybody listening and watching, you know Bella because we talk about her every week. She listens to the program to make sure that Dan's behaving himself. But I told her she is off the leash. Bella can say whatever she wants tonight, as much or as little as you would like.
I'll try my best.
Yeah, I said no pressure. There's no preconditions with her appearance. Dan, you didn't offer any kind of guidance, I don't think, as to what she could say or couldn't say.
Actually, I did.
You did?
I'll have you know, I did give her the rundown of what she can.
Well, that's a little
say.
patriarchal.
I did have a lot of questions, so don't worry.
We had a long car ride on our vacation, so I was like, here's what you can do, here's what you can't do. You know, if you probably are thinking about if it shouldn't or if it should go on air, you probably shouldn't say it.
Now, Bella, did you want this much instruction?
Yes. I need to be told everything that I need to do, like, to the T, or I will freak out and shut down. So, yes. And I appreciate it, so thank you. Thanks, Daniel.
I don't know how Dan pulled this off. It really is a mystery to me. My bet is still some kind of undisclosed court-ordered community service. That's the only possible explanation for why Bella's with you.
Oh, with me?
Yes, with you. Not here at the show. Who wouldn't want to come in and see this car wreck?
Yeah.
Her mom's paying me.
Her mom's paying you?
No. It's the
to
other
stay
way
away?
around, Daniel. Your mom's paying me to hang out with you.
Well, we're both getting paid,
I can confirm that because I met Bella in the presence of your parents, Dan.
Yeah.
And they think she's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that they want to arrange a swap. I think if, God forbid, you guys broke up, I think that they would stay in touch with Bella and maybe tell you to take a walk.
Probably.
I got that vibe.
Probably.
Yeah, you'll end up having Thanksgiving with me, I guess. That'll be my lot in life.
What's wrong with that?
Well, you don't eat much.
I'll bring high noons.
Oh, good. Seltzers that taste like urine. On the most American of all holidays, other than 4th of July. That's something to look forward to.
I tasted one of his this weekend. It was a grapefruit, and it was literally so rancid. And then he drank the whole thing, and I was like, how did you do that? It was a grapefruit high noon.
Do you like any of them?
Some of them, yes, but it depends. Like the passion fruit one, I liked. The watermelon one, eh. Mango and pineapple, I liked. Grapefruit, absolutely not.
She likes more than you.
Tastes like battery acid.
I tried one here on the program. We did a live tasting. I don't even remember what flavor it was.
Black cherry.
Was it
some
black
that
No,
are
it
cherry?
was watermelon.
They're really hit or miss. They're not worth like an entire variety case. Like if you have one flavor that you like, it's worth it. But if it's a variety, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
No.
The one I had tasted like sewer. New York City sewer water. It was
I thought we had
awful.
I thought we had a lot of stuff to get to.
We do have a lot of stuff to get to. This is at the top of the list. Yeah, sure.
She only thought it was bad because she just brushed her teeth, and I said it was bad because I just brushed my teeth.
I would not have liked it with or without brushing my
way.
teeth. I'm sorry. I'm
That.
sorry.
She's saying that.
No.
This is the best part about having Dan's loved ones on the program. We had your mom call in before.
Yeah.
They can always be relied upon to bust chops as vigorously as I do.
Yeah, but apparently busting chops isn't likable to the viewers. So
We did register a complaint from one of our regular 1210 listeners, and this is like the suggestion box at work. We share it all. Do you want to share this one, Dan?
yeah,
Because we appreciate your feedback here on the program. We don't always follow it. This is my show, so I get to call the shots. It's the way it works. We're a dictatorship, even though we believe in our republic. But go ahead, Dan.
Let me pull it up here.
Pull it on up.
Yeah, I gotta pull it up. Oh, where is it now?
Before we get to the substantive topics tonight.
Talks amongst yourselves. Oh, here we go. Do you want me to say the Twitter handle too?
Sure.
Sid Weiss, our good old friend Sid Weiss, said this relationship is getting weird. Being a viewer of this public back and forth, it's like he feels he can bust your chops anytime he feels like it.
So he's talking about our relationship.
Yes.
Not your relationship with Bella.
Correct.
Everyone loves that.
Yeah.
You guys are close to getting your own celebrity nickname,
Don't
like
do that.
Bella and Dan.
Please don't do that.
I don't
Della?
think that any combination of our names would sound decent.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, I like Della.
Anyway,
I don't like
he goes on and he says,
Ban.
it feels hostile to me. I could be wrong. It doesn't make me like him, a.k.a. you. And I said, I don't care. He said, it's weird for viewers. It's antagonistic. It's no way to bust chops. It's not fun or funny. That's him. So Sid, thank you for your complaint. But Matt and I don't actually hate each other.
No. Do we always like each other? No. Do we respect each other?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go with that. But hate, no, we don't hate each other.
No. You clearly don't know how our personalities align either. That's just how that's our.
So, see, apparently.
Oh, here's another one, Gino, on the YouTube chat. Suggestion:
enough of the
chit chat. Get on with the Menendez discussion.
We are going. Look, I mean,
these people are impatient.
I'm a friendly guy. Bella's here. She's a guest on the show, right? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, these people are more than welcome to,
Okay.
work on the show. So,
Look,
or listen.
I'm clearly out of control of my own program here, so I'll just I will yield to the demands of our listeners, and we'll get into the Menendez.
All we got to do is talk about Menendez today because that's all
discussion.
people want. Yeah,
that's what they want.
That's all they want. No chit chat. That's all they
Well,
want.
it's a sexy story, right? I mean, we're familiar with the garden variety corruption you see in D.C., Harrisburg, Trenton, right? People passing envelopes, people doing shady things, awarding contracts without going through the proper procedures. It's not every day that you find gold bars, you find envelopes of cash inside jackets hanging in closets, a high-maintenance wife with caviar taste who gets a free car, a luxury car, with national security implications, right? This, again, is not garden variety corruption, the sort we're used to, where somebody passes an envelope and then they get a job or something like that. We have an accusation here from the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Southern District of New York, that Bob Menendez not only attempted to influence the appointment of a U.S. attorney, big no-no, right? But also was passing sensitive information to Egypt. Now, keep this in mind as we talk about this evening. Bob Menendez was a vocal critic of Donald Trump throughout the whole Russiagate fiasco. He took to the floor of the United States Senate, and we have the audio, and accused Donald Trump of being a Russian asset. All while, we now find out, it appears that Bob Menendez was an Egyptian asset. And I have serious questions. We'll get into this evening as to whether or not maybe there are other people who were availing themselves of Bob Menendez's services. Of course, at this point, it's all just allegations. He's entitled to a presumption of innocence in court, a presumption which, by the way, Democrats haven't afforded to Donald Trump, right? But it looks pretty awful, and it raises serious national security concerns, not just now, but, and I'm going to walk you through this, over the course of 15 months, from the time that we've learned that Bob Menendez's house was raided and they found this Goodfellas-like stash of cash and gold bars and all this other crazy stuff that belongs in some kind of, Hollywood production, a movie about corruption, to when Bob Menendez's indictment was actually announced, unsealed, and he was, I guess, cajoled to step down as chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. That to me is the real story here. And it's what I'm going to try to draw your focus to this evening. I get it. It's like a Sopranos season. It's like the Hollywood movie Finding Gold Bars, right? It's sexy. It's interesting. It's eye-grabbing. It's something different. It's what's getting most of the focus. And I understand that. I understand that it's not something you see every day. But the real issue here is, once again, the Justice Department and how they function or how they don't function. How did a man, Bob Menendez, remain chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee for 15 months after we found out he had $500,000 in cash stored around his house, in addition to all of these other luxury items and super fancy gifts from God knows who overseas? It boggles the mind. Because you, like I, have always seen these raids that they love to televise on television. Certainly the minute they were going to raid Mar-a-Lago, we knew everything about it. We saw everything about it. They made a show of it because the government wanted you to see it. How did we get from June 2022 to September 2023? And there are no reports of this raid on Bob Menendez's home over a year ago. You got to ask yourself if, once again, the Justice Department, the Biden Justice Department, is up to their old games, their old shenanigans, enforcing the rule of law unevenly, always with political ends in mind. So we're going to dig into that this evening. I promise you, Gina, we are going to cover it extensively. I have to have fun on this program, too, though. So as much as I love delving into these topics, I have to occasionally take a time out to bust Dan's chops. Right? It's what I do. It's what I enjoy. I'm a little bit of a bully. Sorry, Sid. And Dan, he's the one in dodgeball that I'm picking last and then pegging with the ball. It's the way it works here on the program.
Hold on. If you're picking me last, why would you be pegging me with a ball if we're on the same team?
That's why it's so mean.
It
doesn't even make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm just being cruel for the sake of being cruel.
Hey, you're probably a nerd who probably sat at a computer all of college. Mr. Lawyer Man.
A nerd? A nerd? The guy with thicker glasses than me and a Batman tattoo is calling me a nerd?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to both stop acting tough in front of Bella. She's not impressed by either of us. Confirm or deny, Bella?
I'm more impressed by you, Matt, than I am Daniel. Sorry.
I actually am aroused by him.
Whoa, Daniel. I don't think she said that.
No, it's pretty much, who knows.
Oh, man, it's going to be a long 3 hours, but I think it's going to be a fun 3 hours. 855-839-1210 is the number here on the Matt Rooney Show. And by the way, it's not just going to be Dan and Bell and I going back and forth. If you want analysis, if you want people that are right at the center of this Bob Menendez scandal, we've got you covered. We will be joined a little bit later this hour by none other than Zach Smith. He is a fellow at the Heritage Foundation down in Washington, D.C., and in addition to everything also on his resume, he is a former assistant U.S. attorney for the Northern District of Florida. So this is someone that is very familiar with federal prosecutions. I spoke to him the other day. I asked him to come on the show and break down this indictment for us, and he happily agreed. So we're looking forward to speaking with Zach in just about 12 minutes or so. And then later in tonight's program, in our 8 o'clock hour, we will be joined by one of the potential Republican candidates to take on Bob Menendez or whoever Democrats sub in. It's not looking too hot for Bob winning a primary right now. But her name is Christine Serrano Glassner. She is the mayor of Mendham, New Jersey. If Mendham sounds familiar, by the way, that's Chris Christie's town. I don't know if he still lives there, but Fatty McThunder Biscuits used to live there. She's the mayor of that Republican outpost, and she's thrown her hat in the ring. And to her credit, she did it before the indictment news broke. So it's not rank opportunism. She clearly is interested in this job. So we're going to talk to her not only about the Menendez scandal, but we want to know a little bit about heading into 2024, what her platform is, why she decided to run, how she plans on winning in a blue state. And, of course, we're going to fit in, as I said, as much else as we can possibly cram into the Matt Rooney Show. You can also, for those of you that are new to the program, not just listen to us deliver all this fantastic information, entertainment, ribs directed to my producer via the radio. You can also watch us. You can log into YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT to confirm that I am indeed as handsome as I sound. Spoiler alert, I am. There's always a lively conversation going on over there as well. Sometimes it's aimed at me. Sometimes it's aimed at Dan. Usually it's Bella that's keeping the conversation going, but she's here. Are you logged into YouTube? I guess not. Oh, you are?
I am. Yeah, I have it up on this monitor right here, and I'm reading everything. It's funny.
Well, that's good, because it just would not be the same chat
Hey,
without
I just want to
participation.
give you the update that Fatty McThunder Biscuits is sitting with Jerry Jones at the Cowboys game. So,
Christie's at the Cowboys game.
He is. So that's why probably the Cowboys are losing. He's sitting with Jerry Jones. So.
Is he sitting on Jerry Jones or with Jerry Jones?
I'm surprised he wasn't breaking Jerry Jones, but no, he's next to him. Probably taking him 3 seats. So I don't know. He's in the box with him.
A friend of mine, Don, I don't know if he's listening tonight, he tweeted a picture of Andy Reid cramming something into his mouth.
Probably cheeseburger.
And Chris Christie, or some kind of barbecue, right?
Yeah.
And Chris Christie cramming something into his mouth.
Yeah.
And he said same vibe. But, of course, the difference is Andy Reid has actually won a national title.
Yeah.
I don't think Chris Christie's going to be winning any
we should probably stop talking about
soon.
this stuff because Gina's saying that we're wasting her life. So we have to get on with Bob Menendez. We should probably stop talking about this.
I talked a lot about Bob Menendez already.
Yeah, that's not enough.
We've got 2 guests that are going to be talking about Bob Menendez.
That's not enough for her. We should probably stop talking about it and talk about Bob Menendez the whole show.
All right, well, let's see if we can get Bob Menendez on the line. He's probably doing the whole bunker thing right now, pushing imaginary legions across a map, sprawling out on his kitchen table. It's about that point, since every Democrat in the state is opportunistically calling for him to resign. I'll give you a little bit of a take on the political dimensions of everything, too, because I know there's some of you junkies out there who, you want to hear the details of the indictment, but you also want to know, what does this mean for New Jersey politics and for the 2024 picture? I got you covered tonight here on the Matt Rooney Show. Again, 855-839-1210. First break. Let's play some ads, make some money. We are capitalists. And then we'll be back to kick the show off in high gear in just a second.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Tired of wasting your money on testosterone booster products that just don't work? We don't blame you. That's why Nugenix Total T lets you try before you buy. Just text BACK to 369-369 to claim your complimentary sample. Why have millions of men already trusted Nugenix for a man-boosting increase in their testosterone levels? Well, nothing else is like it. It contains testofen, a patented key ingredient shown to work. Nugenix Total T boosts free and total testosterone levels to help you feel better at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand and #1 at GNC and #1 at Walmart. But don't take our word for it. Try before you buy. If it works, keep using it. If not, keep the sample. You've got nothing to lose, but you could gain energy, muscle, drive, even more passion. Text BACK to 369-369. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text BACK to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. When it comes to all your home improvement needs, trust is everything. And that's why for years, I've been talking about the amazing work my friends Stephanie and Matt and the entire team at Emmons has done for me and my home. My roof, doors, windows, siding, and yes, remodeling projects. Emmons can bring that same quality of work to all of your kitchen and bathroom remodeling needs. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, and now baths and kitchens. Emmons is the Delaware Valley's one-stop shop for all of your home improvement needs. Call 856-556-3229 and get a free estimate, or go online to emmonsroofing.com, or even better, come visit the Emmons Design Showroom in Cherry Hill. emmonsroofing.com. It's about trust, it's about quality, it's about great work, and that's why me and my family have used them for basically every project we've done to improve our home. emmonsroofing.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. September is World Ozone Month, so it's a great month to get rid of all your aerosol sprays. When we each share a one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Matt Rooney back on the Matt Rooney Show. 855-839-1210 is the number. Not very hard to figure out. Again, you can also head over to our YouTube page, youtube.com/@1210WPHT, if you want to participate in a little bit more of an active way. I'm there, Dan's there, Bella is there, and she's also here at the same time. Two places at once. No small feat on this Bob Menendez-themed edition of the Matt Rooney Show. We are going to talk about some other things, too, or at least we're going to do our darndest. But I get the fact that that is very much present on everyone's mind right now. It's a fun story. But as I mentioned in the first segment of the program, there are serious consequences associated with Bob Menendez's indictment. And there's also, once again, a question to be asked about whether or not Joe Biden's Justice Department is playing things straight. You know that's part of the reason why this happened, right? And specifically why it happened now. The Justice Department did not make Bob Menendez corrupt. For anyone who's been following his career, they say whether there's smoke, there's fire. There has been smoke billowing around this jerk's head for as long as he's been in office, and that's quite a bit of time. This is his second indictment. He was already indicted once for bribery, and he only escaped going to jail back in 2017 because of a hung jury. And for those of you that don't get the importance of that, that means he was not acquitted. It just meant that the prosecution could not get all the jurors around convicting him on the charges that were presented at the time of trial.
I mean, it's bad when we have our good old John Fetterman saying for Menendez to resign.
That's right.
You know it's bad when that guy is
a guy.
Yeah,
a guy who they had to change the Senate rules, Dan, because he shows up for work on the Senate floor dressed like a meth addict.
I mean, the guy
Bob Menendez doesn't come up to his standards.
I mean, when you
think about that,
when you have the guy from the Goonies saying to resign, that's how you know it's hey, you guys. That's how you know it's bad.
Did you see that meme? I think it was Nick Cale shared it on Twitter of him getting out of a bus and like knocking the door off. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that was one of Nick's better shares. Yeah. So things have gotten pretty rough for Bob Menendez. Although he apparently, our friend David Wildstein over at the New Jersey Globe, he tweeted this shortly before we came on. Apparently, there is a press conference scheduled on Monday, tomorrow. Bob Menendez, who is expected to defiantly go out there and say that he's not going anywhere, despite the fact that Phil Murphy and John Fetterman and pretty much everyone but Cory Booker at this point has called for him to step aside. No one can find Cory Booker, by the way. I don't know if he is with T-Bone, his imaginary friend from Newark, in a tree saving cats and posting about it on Instagram. I don't know if you found some kind of cool new vegan restaurant that he's just enamored with.
He's out running with Jen Psaki. That's what he's doing.
He might be running with Jen Psaki. You're right.
They're still running.
Dressed like Ken from Barbie.
Yeah, probably take her to a nice vegan restaurant. I don't know. He was inside Jen Psaki. Sorry, he was inside with Jen Psaki.
Yes, you got to remember the width, or things
yeah.
get a little bit raunchy
Yeah.
for this family program.
Exactly.
Yes. So we don't know where Corey is. He's gone to ground, so to speak, has not weighed in on this whole thing. But everyone else is calling for Bob Menendez to step aside. And you got to remember why that is. It ties into the timing of the indictment itself. Bob Menendez, all right, he is possibly the most critical member of Congress in 2024 in terms of whether or not Democrats can hold on to the Senate. New Jersey is a blue place for federal elections. There's no doubting that. New Jersey actually has an elected, note I said elected because we've had one appointed. We haven't elected a Republican to the United States Senate since before Watergate. Okay? However, we've had some close scrapes. Tom Kean Jr., who's now in Congress, almost beat Bob Menendez last time. So there was already some thinking that, if it's a good Republican year, which now that we're seeing a poll with Donald Trump only 10 points ahead of Joe Biden, it's a long way away. It's still quite a bit of time to go before next November, but it could be a good year for the GOP. There's a chance that seat could be competitive again. So there is clearly an effort to force Bob Menendez from office, but there's also another interesting dimension that hasn't been reported on. They announced this indictment at just the right time, because if they had announced it like a couple of weeks sooner, then it would have forced a special election in New Jersey. And we have our entire legislature on the ballot this year. And it's already anticipated to be a rough cycle for Democrats for a lot of reasons that are obvious to you. And in New Jersey, we got some New Jersey-specific issues, like those windmills they're building off the coast that are killing whales and dolphins wholesale, all of the infringements against parental rights. We've talked about that plenty here on this program. Add into that a unpopular United States senator or a special election to replace him at the top of the ballot in November. That is the last thing Democrats wanted. So you can't help but think whether or not this Biden Justice Department, which again is known for making political decisions, you may have heard, looked at the calendar and said, hey, you know what? There's a time and a place to get rid of this guy ahead of next year, and it happens to be this date. So we can avoid having to deal with it now. Hopefully he'll step aside between now and 2024, and we can replace him with another generic lefty who won't be so unpalatable to the people of New Jersey. You got to know the rules of the game, folks, if you want to figure out how these Biden leftists play it. Because if you do know the rules of the game, they can't hoodwink you. You can figure out what they're up to. And I am by no means, Bob Menendez is out there saying, playing the race card and saying they're doing this because he's an Hispanic American success story. Dan, as our Hispanic, Latino, Latinx representative here in the program, I don't know how you feel about that.
Actually, you want to be, now that Bella's here, she's probably more Hispanic than I am. Just going to put that out there.
I am.
So.
I am. Without a
What
doubt.
percentage, Bella?
My dad is Hispanic. Both of his parents, well, one lives in Puerto Rico, the other immigrated from Nicaragua. My dad did not speak any English until he started school.
So you're at least 50%.
Yes.
Well, check this out.
So she's more than I am.
I am.
More likable than you. She better fits into one of your core roles that we've assigned you here at the program. If Bella can operate a board, maybe we should make a change.
I cannot operate a board.
Dan can do it. We can teach you how to do it.
I don't know about that one.
We can teach you how to do that.
Well, if Bella produces the show, then that adds to the inclusion to this radio station, because it's a bunch of dude sweat right now.
Yes, that's the only kind of inclusion we're worried about.
we
don't care about any of the other boxes that the left is always worried about checking.
Yeah, we need more females on the station.
I will never forget the day, Bella, I filled in on the morning show, and Dan was practically sitting in my lap. And then there was another time I filled in, and it was just me and like 6 dudes in the booth you're sitting in right now. It was horrendous.
That's too much testosterone in one area.
Way too much. It was every sad college party I ever went to, and you show up and there's no women, and it's
You went to college parties?
A couple.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, the ones I got invited to.
Good for you.
See, I was a real nerd, as you pointed out earlier in the program. You were kind enough to say that. And every October, when all these Halloween parties were happening and everything, where was I? I was on a bus campaigning or something.
I was going to say, what was your go-to costume for these parties? But clearly you didn't go to them.
I didn't go to any.
Yeah,
I had no idea, by the way. And I'm sorry, Gina. Every time tonight we don't talk about Menendez, I'm going to apologize to Gina.
Yeah, this is. I mean, Gina's probably raging right now. They're not talking about Bob Menendez.
I did not know about Sexy Halloween until I went to law school.
Oh, it's a huge thing.
I had no idea because in college, that time of year, I was always campaigning for George W. Bush or doing God knows what that was political related, right? Because I was a good, dutiful college Republican. Had no idea about this till I went to law school.
It's a huge thing with our generation.
Yes.
People were started this in middle school.
I had no idea that Halloween parties with people of a certain age just involve women showing up naked.
Well, I wouldn't say all naked.
Pretty close to naked, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much half. But
I've only
not.
been to 2 college parties. One was at a baseball fraternity.
Do your parents know about this?
Yeah, I told my mom about this.
Okay.
Tune out, Bella's mom.
No. One was at a baseball fraternity. It was so disgusting you couldn't move. And then the other one was at a Halloween party last year. But I was visiting my girlfriend up at school in Kutztown, and we went to a band. It was like a band Halloween party. So it was 30 of us maybe, and that was it. But it was band kids, so it's...
You had me at band.
Yeah, it was not...
Daddy owes you.
Band Halloween party.
Yeah.
So,
oh, man.
You would have thought those band nerds would have really threw some Halloween. You know?
No, it really wasn't. It was really tame.
Decent music, at least.
Yeah, and we had a DD, so it was fine anyway.
How does that sound? That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
855-839-1210 is the number. I'm going to try to do a better job with the phone lines tonight because I know a lot of you want to talk about Bob Menendez. I wonder why. Alex from Swarthmore, you're on the Matt Rooney Show. Good evening. Oh, just lost him?
Yeah.
See,
Wait,
that's what I get for going to the line.
Hold on.
Do we still have him?
I don't know what's wrong with the phones. Let me try something.
Is Bella making you nervous again?
A little bit. Hold on.
He's usually much more pulled together than this, Bella, when you're not here. I really do think
they were. We've had issues.
I think he really does feel pressured. Okay, well, it is what it is. You know what, Dan? Let's give people a little bit of context too before our next guest. Can we play the clip of the announcement of the Menendez indictment? And if you didn't see this, just so everybody knows, he's talking about racism here, and there's a lot that needs to be unpacked when it comes to this Menendez indictment. Okay,
I got him, by the way.
Do you have him back?
Yeah.
Okay, good. But there's a lot that needs to be unpacked about this Menendez indictment. He's calling this a racist enterprise or something. I mean, that's probably the one shady thing that this is not. The U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York that made the announcement is, I think he's African-American, right? I think his parents emigrated here from Jamaica, right? So not that you can't be racist and non-white, but it doesn't seem very likely in this context that would be the reason this is happening. No, Bob Menendez isn't being indicted because Bob Menendez is a crook. He always has been a crook. But it also serves a political purpose for the Biden administration. They can now attempt to say, not effectively, but they can attempt to say, well, look at this. It's not just Hunter that's in trouble. It's a Democrat that's in trouble. And it's not just Donald Trump that's being indicted. It's also this crook from New Jersey. So therefore, there is some equity in the Department of Justice's charging decisions. Not quite that simple. We have Alex back?
Honestly, I don't even know. Let's try it.
I just feel bad now. I mean, we can...
There you go. All right.
There you go.
Alex, I apologize for Dan, which I apologize for Dan usually twice an hour anyway. This is the first apology this evening, but welcome to the Matt Rooney Show.
Well, with technology and all, anything can go wrong. I mean, that's just the way it is. So
but
I'm very patient when it comes to that.
But that's why I have a Gen Zer, because I can't figure this stuff out. He's supposed to be on top of it.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys do all that. You're probably doing 8 things at once constantly. So
it's endless. It's endless.
It is. I can imagine. It's brilliant what you just said about Menendez. In other words, it's all designed to make it look like we're fair. We are the fair party because we indict people in our own party. Somehow I sense it was something like that. However, remember Menendez refused to go along with Barack Obama's vote on giving Iran, what was it, a pallet full of money? What was it, the vote? He wouldn't vote along party lines on something.
Oh,
back in 2008, 2010, right?
Menendez, to his credit, and I don't like to give the man a lot of credit, he has been fairly consistent in his support of Israel. He opposed the Obama administration's strategy, their attempt to cut a deal with Iran.
Exactly.
He's also echoed those same criticisms during the Biden administration. So you're correct. That's another dimension of this whole thing. They don't have a lot of sympathy for this guy anyway. So being corrupt, being someone that criticizes them on foreign policy, he is the perfect fall guy for them to be able to make some kind of tortured argument that, hey, this whole thing we're doing to Donald Trump right now, it's not just about Donald Trump. We're willing to prosecute anybody that perpetrates corruption.
Another point I want to make that's completely off the topic, if you don't mind me doing that.
We rarely stay on topic, so why should I make you stay on topic?
What happened to this storm of the century we were supposed to have yesterday and today? What's going on? I can hear crickets out there. There's no wind, there's no rain, there's nothing.
I do have a swimming pool in my backyard right now, and I don't actually have a pool. Yes, I've got a ton of rain. I did worry tonight about driving into the city that I was going to have trouble because sometimes these city roads, especially close to the Schuylkill, can get a little bit iffy when it rains. You all remember a couple years ago, people were doing backflips?
Yeah, you had problems. But see, I mean, I've been home. I decided I'm going to stay home for these 2 days so I can keep an eye on my property, you know?
Right.
And I thought last night you're going to start hearing the wind, howling out there, nothing. And then today, this morning, they said by 7 o'clock it's going to be howling, nothing. And then this afternoon came. They said after 2 o'clock it's all hell's going to break loose, nothing. And now I'm listening. I'm right by the window here. It's like a hot summer night with crickets. It's quiet. There's no rain.
Are you sure you're in the Delaware Valley and you haven't been transported somewhere else?
No, nothing
because it was
happened
soggy and damp and very tropical storm-esque. I mean, it wasn't anything that I was worried about losing power or anything like that. I mean, we all know how the media is with their disaster pornography. They like to push it to try to keep you in a constant state of agitation. But I don't know. We all have to buy some real estate in your neighborhood because you definitely fared better than the rest of us.
I mean, really, the winds never got over 10 miles an hour. I'm not hyping you. Really, it's true.
I believe you, Alex. You're a credible guy. And thanks again for calling in to the Matt Rooney Show. We appreciate it. 855-839-1210. Those are our digits here at the station. Let's take a break. And when we come back, Zach Smith, former assistant U.S. attorney down in Florida, he's going to help us break down this indictment here on the Matt Rooney Show.
Hundreds of thousands of men, women, and children go without enough food to eat. You can help feed the hungry. Donate to the Catholic Charities Appeal. Visit CatholicCharitiesAppeal.org. Giving hope to those who need it most. CatholicCharitiesAppeal.org.
Wrap up the regular season at CBP when the Phils welcome Pittsburgh to Philadelphia on September 26th and 27th, both at 6:40, and September 28th at 6:05. Order tickets now at Phillies.com. Be first in line for a 2024 Phillies season ticket package before the public on sale by placing a deposit now. Gain access to exclusive benefits such as price savings and incredible seat locations. Reserve yours at Phillies.com/season.
Hi, this is Dr. Brad Schaefer. As a podiatrist, I can tell you no two people's feet are alike, which is why I recommend Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotic inserts. They're customized for your feet, so you get a unique solution your feet really need, not just a one-size-fits-all insole. They're clinically proven to provide pain relief for achy feet, knees, lower back, plantar fasciitis, and heels. Take the Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotics assessment in Walmart today, now in the foot care aisle.
One day, I'll teach chemistry to kids.
I'm going to be an architect.
My dream is to be a chef.
At the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Federal Student Aid, we provide more than $150 billion each year in grants, loans, and work-study funds, making higher education possible for anyone at any stage of life.
I can go back to college.
I can change careers. I can make a difference. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
Hey, Mount Laurel, we know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
charging Senator Robert Menendez, his wife Nadine Menendez, and 3 New Jersey businessmen, Wael Hana, Jose Uribe, and Fred Davies, for bribery offenses. The investigation that led to these charges has been run out of the Southern District of New York. The indictment alleges that between 2018 and 2022, Senator Menendez, the senior U.S. Senator from New Jersey and the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and his wife Nadine Menendez, engaged in a corrupt relationship with Hana, Uribe, and Davies. The indictment alleges that through that relationship, the senator and his wife accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars of bribes in exchange for Senator Menendez using his power and influence to protect and to enrich those businessmen and to benefit the government of Egypt. The indictment alleges that Hana, Uribe, and Davies provided bribes in the form of cash, gold, home mortgage payments, a low-show or a no-show job for Nadine Menendez, a Mercedes-Benz, and other things of value to the senator and his wife.
And keep in mind, they were able to get DNA from these bribes that were paid to Bob Menendez. Still cannot figure out who left cocaine in the White House outside of the Situation Room. But they were able to extract that from the stuff they found around Senator Menendez's house. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I own some tinfoil. I don't wear it on my head. I only use it to cook, I promise you. But it's just too much sometimes to swallow. 855-839-1210 is the number here on the Matt Rooney Show. Let's get to our guest. We're excited to speak with him. Zach Smith, he's a legal fellow, and he's manager of the Supreme Court and Appellate Advocacy Program at the Edwin Meese III Center at the Heritage Foundation. Fantastic think tank down in D.C., one of the first places I go when I'm trying to get some deeper understanding of almost anything in the public arena that's popping out there. But prior to joining Heritage, Zach served for several years as an assistant United States attorney in the Northern District of Florida. So if there's anyone that can help us make sense of this indictment and explain it to us, it's Zach. And we are happy to welcome him to the Matt Rooney Show. Zach, good evening, sir. How's the weather down there in D.C.?
Well, it's getting more fall-like every day, but I appreciate you having me on the show today, Matt.
No, it's our pleasure. We just wanted to make sure you were okay with all this flooding and everything. Our listener a minute ago said that he's perfectly fine. I have a feeling he's actually in Florida and not in the mid-Atlantic because it's been biblical over the past 48 hours. But so, here we go. We have an indictment, right? It seems like that's pretty much all we talk about anymore in the political arena. It's indictment season, the indictment cycle. This latest one comes to us from the Southern District of New York, which, correct me if I'm wrong, it has a reputation as a fairly serious button-up district that takes its indictments very seriously.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Matt. Look, the Southern District of New York, they are experts in bringing white-collar crimes, corruption prosecutions. They have a reputation for pursuing these types of cases against very high-profile individuals. And so I think Senator Menendez should be worried at this point about, what is coming down the pipeline for him. Certainly the allegations in the indictment do not look good for the senator, his wife, or anyone else who's involved in this entire scheme. But, I think there's an important thing to remember as well, Matt. The criminal charges are one thing. Everyone is presumed innocent unless or until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt and convicted by a jury of their peers. But the criminal case and the political case, if you will, are two separate animals. And so regardless of what happens in the criminal case, these allegations are incredibly troubling, to put it very, very mildly. And I can't see how Senator Menendez, his constituents, or anyone else can expect him to be able to continue to effectively do his job, represent the citizens of New Jersey, and really represent the best interest of the United States. Because these allegations, I've seen some people refer to them as being almost cartoonish in nature, and that certainly seems like an accurate description to me.
I didn't know people still got bribes in gold bars. It's quite a throwback to not just another time, but another century. But somehow Bob Menendez allegedly found someone to facilitate that for him. I mean, you reach a point, and it's an important point that many people have raised with me, and even though I'm an attorney like you, I don't pretend to have your federal prosecutorial experience. He's accused of passing, among other things, sensitive information to Egyptian officials. That's in this indictment. There's no mention of treason or any charge that carries a similar factual basis. Is there a reason why maybe they haven't gone there at this point? The U.S. Attorney did make a point of saying during his press conference on Friday, this investigation is very much ongoing, but thus far, they're sticking to bribery.
Well, I suspect it's because they thought these were the charges that they could most easily prove in a court of law. Certainly, the allegations are out there in the public realm right now. Justice Department policy forbids kind of these charges, supposed to forbid these types of cases being brought close to an election. So I imagine there may have been part of that calculation going on as well. But look, Matt, I think it's important to realize that even though these are very serious charges, the investigation is ongoing, as you mentioned. Don't forget the allegations, like you said, he's alleged to have passed on information to an Egyptian government official, basically tipped him off about what questions he was going to face before the Senate. He was facilitating arms sales, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of ammunition and other arms sales to the Egyptian government. And so even if, for whatever reason, the criminal case against Senator Menendez is delayed or doesn't go forward expeditiously, keep in mind, the FBI raided his house based on the indictment in June of 2022, where they found the $480,000 some odd dollars stuffed in envelopes in his, jackets and his closets and a safe. They found the gold bars. They had the text messages between his wife, between the senator and others, kind of outlining many of the overt acts that took place in this conspiracy and this scheme to bribe him to get favorable treatment for the Egyptian government and others as well. And so the question is, why has he been serving as chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee for over a year since that that information came to light? Think about the access to classified information he had. Think about all of the influence he tried to exert in that interim. It really is staggering and, again, very, very troubling, to put it mildly, when you start to think through these things.
$1.3 billion in aid steered to Egypt. And as I mentioned earlier in the program, as we begin to unpack all this, God knows what else this guy had his hands in. But I'm glad you zeroed in on that, Zach, because to me, that's the big story here. Yes, the gold bars, it's flashy, it's sexy. It's like that Lord of War movie starring Nicolas Cage, which, by the way, was a great movie. If you've never seen it, with the arms sales and everything. Horrendous, fascinating, jaw-dropping, yes. But the idea that federal agents knew in June 2022, we've got mounds of evidence that this guy is compromised. Wouldn't there have been any mechanism to, for example, pass this information to the Senate Intelligence Committee and say that, hey, listen, guys, I think there's a problem. Maybe we should facilitate Senator Menendez stepping down from this very important foreign policy position?
Well, you would certainly think there should be a mechanism available to do that. It's hard to see how he maintained an active security clearance given this information. But, what really struck me among this very serious nature of the charges, passing information along to a foreign government intelligence official, was the timing as well. Don't forget, this isn't Senator Menendez's first time tangling with public corruption charges. He was charged in 2015 by the Justice Department in a similar pay-for-play type scheme. The trial ultimately went forward, took place in 2017, where there was a hung jury, basically meaning they couldn't come to a consensus on whether to convict him or whether to acquit him. And so what happened is, after the hung jury, the judge dismissed some charges, and in January of 2018, the Justice Department said, we're dropping our case against Senator Menendez. We're not going to go forward with anything else. According to this indictment, as soon as February, March, April, May of that same year, 2018, he was already starting this new pay-for-play scheme with the Egyptians and his wife and these business associates that are named in the indictment. And so when you talk about audacious conduct, I can't think of anything really more audacious or more galling than the conduct that Senator Menendez is alleged to have committed.
Do you think that there's a chance they're trying to get his wife, Nadine, to flip at this time? I know this isn't a legal commentary. It's just a commentary on life and how relationships work. I'm actually a divorce attorney, so this is more my arena, Zach. I can't imagine this is what Mrs. Menendez signed up for. She signed up to be the wife of a very powerful and influential U.S. senator, not a penniless crook from Hudson County who has now been disgraced. At this stage of the prosecution, would those types of discussions still be ongoing?
It's potential. I mean, look, as a criminal prosecution, you're always looking to flip witnesses, kind of roll up to the higher person. There are some unique considerations whenever you're trying to get a spouse to flip on someone or testify. You know, in certain states, they can be barred from doing that. This is obviously a federal prosecution, though. But look, you know, I would be curious to know how Bob Menendez and his wife are going to address this. Maybe he's feeling invincible after he got off, essentially, with the last case. The other interesting aspect of this that I'll mention, Matt, is, you know, legally speaking, even though the facts are overwhelming, very compelling, Bob Menendez may still have some good legal arguments to hang his hat on. Don't forget, after the Bob McDonnell case coming out of Virginia, the Supreme Court basically narrowed what could be prosecuted as honest services fraud under the federal wire fraud statute. That's one of the charges, conspiracy to violate that statute, that Bob Menendez and his wife are facing. And so one of the things the Supreme Court said is that there has to be an official act. Essentially, the person being bribed has to take or be, pushed to take an official act, concrete action, basically in the pay-to-play screen, setting up meetings, facilitating introductions. That's not enough, is what the Supreme Court said. And so I suspect one of the arguments you'll probably see Menendez say is, look, I didn't take any official actions. I'm a senator. This is the humdrum, everyday activity of politics, which maybe it is in New Jersey, I don't know, or other states, unfortunately. But, he may try to make those types of arguments, and so it'll be very interesting to see what the court does with those as he starts to make them.
Well, you nailed it, because in his press release, he made a comment to the effect of, they're trying to criminalize the regular function of the office of a member of Congress. Again, I'm not familiar, or at least I wouldn't expect that Congress members are regularly accepting gold bars, but hey, listen, it's Washington, D.C., right? My expectations, right, I hope not, but my expectations are already in the basement. We've been talking to Zach Smith of the Heritage Foundation, former assistant United States attorney, and I have to plug this. He didn't even ask me to, but we're sitting here in Philadelphia. You need to check out his book, which is on Amazon, Rogue Prosecutors. God knows we have one here in the city of Philadelphia. Sometime, Zach, we want you to come back and give us an update on this story, but maybe we can have you back just to talk about the book, because if anybody knows anything about Rogue Prosecutors, it's a veteran of our U.S. Attorney Federal criminal justice system. So please take us up on that invitation. Again, Zach Smith, everyone. You can find him over at the Heritage Foundation's website, of course. You can also find him over on Twitter/X, whatever we're calling it these days, at TZ Smith. That's his handle. Zach, thanks for joining us and helping us make sense of all of this.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me on, Matt. Really enjoyed it.
1 hour in the can, ladies and gents, but fear not, 2 hours left to go here on the Matt Rooney Show. 855-839-1210 is the number over at YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. I'm here, Dan's here, Bella is here, and we will be joined by one of the Republicans who wants to take on Bob Menendez next year in our second hour. You're not going to want to miss it. Quick break, back in just a few.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000.
It's Chevy truck season, and with a Chevy Silverado, there's no such thing as an uphill battle. With a Chevy Silverado, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. Because with impressive towing capability, an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen, and the choice of powerful engines to pick from, whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado with the capability you need. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day. Football I want to be a bike that races around the country. I want to be a bench on a forest trail. When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real. It happens every day. You can recover. Discover hope and help.
Never give up on yourself.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000.
Hundreds of thousands of men, women, and children go without enough food to eat. You can help feed the hungry. Donate to the Catholic Charities Appeal. Visit CatholicCharitiesAppeal.org. Giving hope to those who need it most. CatholicCharitiesAppeal.org.
Kale and Company mornings. Rich Cioli afternoons. Free speech lives here. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Together all that time he was taking up for granted.
Welcome back, old friends, new frenemies, and all who lie elsewhere in between on the spectrum that is life. This is the Matt Rooney Show. I am the aforementioned Matt Rooney, kicking off our numero dose of Trace here on Sunday night, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard every week here on 1210 WPHT. Imparting plenty of information. Some of our topics are serious, but always having fun. Because if you're not laughing in politics in 2023, there's a good chance you are crying. And nobody wants you to cry. Listen to The Weeknd. Save your tears for another day. Right, Daniel?
Sure.
What do you mean, sure?
I save my tears for whenever I feel like I need to release them.
Very sensitive.
Yeah.
What a modern man you are.
A man that's in touch with his feelings.
Just hearing you say that gave me that grossed out reaction.
What do you got against
It's called the ick, Matt.
Is that what it is, the ick?
Yeah, it gives me the icks. Whenever he does something like that, I say, Daniel, it's giving me the icks.
Oh, my God.
Or if he knows better, he'll say, is this giving you the icks? And I'll say, yep.
How often do you get the icks on an average day hanging out with Dan?
At least once a day.
At least once a day?
At least once a day.
That's a large ick factor.
Mean, this also gave her the ick.
So
That's the first thing that started.
Let's give everyone a little bit of context if you're new to the program. And if our numbers are any indication, for whatever insane reason, we continue to grow here at this program by leaps and bounds. So there are some new folks out there in the audience. That is Dan at a concert. And that is a allegedly honest reaction he had to this band playing one of his favorite songs by them. Is that accurate?
Accurate.
So, Bella, how many icks did you experience all at once when you heard and saw Dan do that?
Probably like 2.
Ooh, a double ick.
A double ick.
That's not true.
I don't know. Sometimes you'll do something. I'm trying to think of like the last thing you did that I was like, oh, that gives me the icks.
Invite you to sit in on a conservative radio show?
No.
She willingly accepted the offer.
I was
she
like,
did.
She did. I asked her, like, hey, you wanna just sit in? She's like, okay.
Yeah.
So,
It's kind of neat in here, right?
It's cool. It's a cool building.
Yeah, we got a really cool lobby. It's very fancy. It looks like a spaceship.
I really like the lights out in the hallway by the elevator.
Yes.
I was looking at them for a
How
little
would you
bit.
describe the Odyssey building? Yeah, you got a cool lobby.
Got a cool lobby.
Pretty
Got a cool
much,
lobby.
though.
It's impressive. Then you come back here and actually hear us, and you're like, maybe I'll stay in the lobby. But that's a neat thing. People like visiting here. And we're glad you're here. We've been trying to get this together for a while, and I have to tell you, the lovely Jacqueline, my wife, slightly disappointed she has not been invited to come here yet, which isn't exactly true. I have tried to get her to come before. Of course, the big difference is we have 2 little ones at home, so it can
It's
be
hard.
a little tough
I'll babysit them.
to coordinate. Well, maybe that's the only way it's going to work.
Daniel and I will babysit them. She'll
I never.
produce.
Whoa. She's pulling me into this now.
He can't call out of the show to go babysit for my kids.
That's what I'm saying. I have to be here.
Nah.
I gotta
You're
be here.
expendable.
I mean, I agree with that. But until we find someone else.
Darn. I'll babysit them.
I mean, I'm
So
not
she can
Bob
come in.
Menendez. I don't have gold bars just kicking around in my underwear drawer. I can't go out and just get another producer.
Good thing you mentioned Bob Menendez. I mean, Gina was going to get mad.
Poor Gina. Gina, listen, I know we're picking on you because you were picking on us. We're happy that you're listening, watching, whatever. But I promise you plenty of Bob Menendez content, and we're having lots of Bob Menendez content. We had Zach Smith, former assistant U.S. attorney, break down the indictment in the last hour. I promise you we have more coming up in this hour, our second, including an interview with one of Bob Menendez's possible challengers in 2024, assuming, of course, he makes it that far. I don't know if he's going to cross the finish line. He's allegedly going to hold a press conference tomorrow and dig his heels in and say, I'm not going anywhere. But when you have every Democrat in creation, from Phil Murphy to John Fetterman and PA, saying, hey, bud, it's time to wrap it up, it's hard to imagine him getting through a primary right now. But hey, who knows? You know, my state has a very high tolerance for corruption.
Hey, I just want to point out there, the very lovely Wendy Rooney said Bella is so cute.
Yes, my mother commented.
That's your mom?
That's my mom.
Oh my gosh.
My
That's
mom
so
is
cute.
now in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mom. That's so cute.
Bella is so cute, and my eyes are not what they used to be, but I think that's 2 exclamation marks.
That made my whole week.
Points. Yeah.
I'm off to a good week so far.
You got Matt's mom approval.
Oh my gosh.
Bella definitely elevates the program.
Do you think so?
I don't
Well, it's
think
a bunch
so.
of,
I know so.
I mean, there's a bunch of dude sweat between me and him, so like you're adding a female voice onto it.
I love the fact that Dan keeps making reference to
Dude
the
sweat?
dude sweat because
Yeah.
I don't think of Dan
That's-
really
It's
as a
giving me the
man.
icks,
I think of
Daniel.
him as more non-binary.
I went through all through high school with one of my teachers saying it was a bunch of dude sweat.
You
so
got a thing for dude sweat?
No, hold on. He just kept saying, "Wow, it's a bunch of dude sweat in here," and that's all I know now. So
That's all you know.
anytime
That
there's
phrase is just ingrained in your brain.
anytime there's multiple men, it's a bunch of dude sweat.
Ew.
Cry about it. I don't know.
I have the icks right now.
That's it.
Why would you tell him
That's
that?
it.
If you say dude sweat one more time, I'm walking out of my own show.
Icky.
Talking to a man who doesn't know what beef was.
Beef? Like I got beef with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got beef with Daniel right now.
Well, the way he was saying it, he said beefing. And
Oh, yeah,
and
it's like
and
the
it threw
same.
me.
It's beefing.
It's like the same idea. Like we're beefing.
We're beefing. You and Dan are beefing.
Yeah, always.
We always be
Lots
beefing.
of icking and beefing.
Very much
what
icking and
What a
beefing.
relationship.
It's Gen Z. in a
Bella, I
nutshell.
got to make sure you have my card when you inevitably decide you got to swim away from this shipwreck.
Won't work if we're not in Jersey.
I'll drive
I
to
will go
Jersey.
get barred in Pennsylvania just to help Bella. That's how myself
Oh, wait, you're a
and clearly
lawyer?
the entire Rooney family feels about Bella.
You're a lawyer?
Okay, look.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do it because I didn't want to be mean to him tonight. But
That was literally the one rule that I
we
told
were
her.
we were driving back, and he was like, anytime he says something about him being a lawyer, just go like, "Oh, you're a lawyer."
She clearly didn't pay attention.
So you're coaching Bella to be as mean as you are.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
I know, because you guys are in cahoots against me, so.
We're on the same side.
You have no one to blame but yourself.
I guess
like
so.
you and Bob Menendez. You made your own. You made your own bed. You got to lie in them.
It's just like Peepaw Menendez, you know.
Peepaw.
Peepaw Bob.
Peepaw Bob. When I was on Jesse Waters' program the other day.
Oh, you're on Fox?
Okay, listen. It was to compliment Jesse. He came up with Gold Bar Bob.
Yeah.
And as soon as he said it, I wanted to say this on air. I didn't, but I was thinking, you know what? This is why you're prime time on Fox.
Yeah.
Because you come up with those sorts of phrases. Gold Bar Bob is going to stick.
Okay, I mean, you got to give Waters credit every time you say it, though. You can't just take it as your own.
I just said that it was him.
Yeah, but it's like
I didn't try to appropriate it.
Right. Just like you should copyright Fatty McThunder biscuits, so anytime someone tries to use it, you get money for it.
Yeah, no, that is mine.
Exactly.
I got to talk to Stocker. I want a T-shirt.
We can make them.
We have merchandise here at the station now.
We do.
I do not know why, Greg, if you're listening, I do not know why we don't have a Fatty McThunder.
We already
biscuits.
have 2 shirts made. Water Snob and Funky Liar. So
Funky Liar.
Let's get them made.
Our caller from San Francisco,
right,
who calls in and he called me a funky liar.
Right.
We're ready to go. Sales department. You have Dan's number.
It's not even sales. It's us.
Sales doesn't do it?
Nope. It's Greg.
It's just Greg?
Yeah.
It's Greg with a Cafe Press account, just cranking out T-shirts?
No, it's a third-party company, but sales won't give us the budget for it. So we got to go out. So we got to go third party.
See, I know. I need you to help me navigate corporate America.
Yeah, it's corporate for you.
Yeah. No, it is.
So shirts are like the only advertisement we got. So
you got to roll with what you got, right?
Pretty much.
We will be talking more about Bob Menendez tonight. I mentioned a minute ago, we do have a mayor from North Jersey, from Mendham, who will be joining us in about 20 minutes to discuss her campaign. I don't know if I mentioned this in the first hour. Since Bob Menendez was indicted, it has set off this Game of Thrones style bedlam in New Jersey where everyone is looking for a promotion. You had Andy Kim over in the 3rd Congressional District. For those who don't know New Jersey geography, that includes Burlington County. He's announced he's going to run for Senate. Now someone's going to run for his seat. Jeff Van Drew, a friend of this program. We've had Congressman Van Drew on more than once in the past to fill us in on what he's doing down in D.C. He announced, and yes, Dan, I have a website, SaveJersey.com. We broke the news yesterday.
I wasn't even going to say that.
I just preempted it.
Okay.
We broke the news that Jeff Van Drew is considering a run for the U.S. Senate seat now. So things are going to get interesting very quickly. So we look forward to speaking to the mayor a little bit later this hour to break down the race and what she's seeing, what she's hearing, why it is that she is throwing her own hat into the ring. But we'll also talk a little bit more about Bob Menendez, not just the crook, but also the hypocrite. I promised to play this clip earlier. Bob Menendez, and Dan, by the way, I think this is cut 8. Bob Menendez not only appears to be a foreign asset himself, but while all of this is going on, and you heard our friend Zach Smith break down the timeline, while all of this corruption is unfolding, unbeknownst to the rest of us, Bob Menendez is simultaneously going to the floor of the U.S. Senate and accusing Donald Trump of being a Russian asset. What kind of gall does it take to be that two-faced?
A seagull.
What?
A seagull. You didn't get the joke anyway.
I didn't get it. No, hold on. Explain that.
You said, what kind of gall does it take? And I said, a seagull.
Okay.
Daniel's just really good at making bad jokes sometimes.
That's what I'm saying.
I would press a hotkey right now, but the screen is too far away.
Pull it forward you.
I didn't. It would take too long.
What hotkey did you want? I'll push
Just
it.
play the clip, and I will do it when we come back.
What too many of my Republican colleagues seem to forget is that at the end of the day, this is not about Donald Trump. It's about the American people. It's about whether an American president may be beholden to foreign interests and how those interests fare against our own.
So, again, that was in, I think, February 2019 was the date on that clip. Follow the timeline that's been outlined by the U.S. attorney. Bob Menendez escaped his last bribery prosecution in 2017 and did not miss a beat. Continued his hustle. Not representing the people of New Jersey, but profiting off of his position. And you wouldn't be blamed for asking yourself, hey, Matt, This guy was accepting gold bars in exchange for using the levers of the federal government's power to enrich himself. How is this fundamentally different from what Hunter and Joe Biden were up to? Well, I will be very blunt about this. Even though I've never thought of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden as being great intellects in the pantheon of well-known American political figures.
Daddy owes you.
Well, Daddy is more sophisticated than Bob, I guess.
It's Daddy Biden.
Daddy Biden. He knows to go through your kid, so there's a buffer. So when you're accepting these bribes and inevitably someone looks into it, there's at least some degree of plausible deniability. Bob Menendez has a kid, but I guess the problem there is Bob Menendez's son is actually a congressman in New Jersey, right? Talk about nepotism, huh? So I guess maybe there's some shred of humanity left in Bob Menendez, and he decided he didn't want to wrap his own son up in this stuff. Can't say the same for Joe Biden. Although what other honest job could Hunter ever hope to get? You've seen the photos, same as I. I actually currently am being down-throttled on Facebook because we shared one of those photos. Facebook has stopped promoting Save Jersey's Facebook page for that very reason. So I think this is a real problem for Democrats, not just in New Jersey, this story. They think it's going to help them. They think it's going to help them because they're going to be able to say there's some parity in our justice system. It's not just Republicans that are being prosecuted. It's also Democrats. I think it's going to backfire because of the similarities to the Hunter Biden situation and how easy this is for the American people to understand. I'm not a believer the American people are stupid. I just think they're distracted. I don't think that they often pay enough attention, generally speaking, to these stories that are happening in the public sphere because they're easy to dismiss during the course of your busy schedule as, oh, that's just business as usual. How often have you heard someone say it? Oh, politicians, they're all crooks. But this one, people accepting gold bars in exchange for helping foreign powers, it's very easy to connect the dots. I think a jury is ultimately going to feel that way. I think your average American voter who's on the fence is going to interpret this information in that way. That's trouble for Bob Menendez, and it's trouble for Democrats generally who are experiencing a worsening environment. You saw the poll today. It was all over the internet. It was all over the Sunday shows if you ever choke any of them down. I generally avoid them because they're garbage. Washington Post, ABC poll. Joe Biden now trailing Donald Trump by 10 points. I'm loath to even bring up polls because I know how Dan feels about them. He's annoyed every time I mention polling on this program. He doesn't like them. He doesn't trust them. He thinks they're pointless. But while it's a mistake to invest too much importance in any one poll, you have to recognize at some point when you see a pattern. And there's a clear pattern emerging. At a time when all of these Democrats and members of the media and certain never-Trumper Republicans like Fatty McThunderbiscuits, Chris Christie, are telling us, oh, Donald Trump doesn't have a chance. We nominate Donald Trump to carry the Republican banner in 2024. He's going to lose. He's a political goner. He doesn't have a chance. Well, there's no polling whatsoever to back that up, folks. This latest poll, Trump up 10 points. And he's not just up 10 points. Donald Trump is over 50%. That is highly significant, a highly significant finding in political polling. If this pattern continues, Democrats aren't just looking at a bad 2024, they're looking at a catastrophic 2024. So what do you do now? Do you go to Dan's girl Kamala? Do you bypass Kamala and go to the governor of California?
How dare they?
That's what she's going to say if Democrats coalesce around Gavin Newsom. But
he's got great hair.
You got to think at this point. What's that?
He's got great hair.
Who's got great hair?
Gavin Newsom.
Well, great hair is an important part of the equation.
Great hair.
Yes.
Great luscious locks.
It's the only reason I voted for Mitt Romney in 2012.
Luscious locks of grayness, you know. Just rub my
You're getting awfully into that.
And then we just rub my fingers through them.
That's giving me the X.
Okay, well, glad to see that you guys are teaming up.
Bella, I mean this in a gentlemanly way. If you need a ride home assuming you came with him. I'm happy to make sure you have a safe way to get out of here.
Thank you, Matt.
I mean,
that
we're
was
literally going to the same place, so you literally have to see me again. Sometime.
Yeah, my car is at his apartment.
I'm
so
done with this.
855-839-1210 is the number here at the Matt Rooney Show. Let's go to the phones. Let me scan the phone list and see who we have here. Bob Menendez brings it out in people. Jerry from Edison, my side of the river.
Yeah,
You're
hi,
on
Matt.
the Matt
Hi,
Rooney
everybody
Show.
out there. Yeah, hi, Matt.
How's it going, Jerry? I got you. You're on the Matt Rooney Show.
right.
Good evening.
Pretty good, yes. So first, because there's like minders listening in that government down in Washington probably to the show.
I have my
I
own
would say
FBI
that-
file. I have no doubt about it. And it's
Right.
not even that
I
I'm
would
that
say that-
self-important. I just know that that's how they operate.
Absolutely. So I would say that this corruption in the Senate is a matter of great public importance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are only talking opinion here. What I'm going to say is just an opinion. I don't have any facts. So it's just an opinion on opinion radio, and they're public figures, so they're big boys. So this is a First Amendment. So here's what I think. I think that if we took 100 senators and we broke into, like they did Menendez's wife's safe deposit boxes or the husband and wife safe deposit box, and we raided their home, I would believe that we would probably find criminal charges against minimum 30%, maybe 75% of them.
It
That's the
certainly
first
makes you
thing.
wonder, right? Because if nothing
Yes,
else, Jerry, and I'm going to let you finish, but I just want to pose this to you. Look at how easy it was for Bob Menendez to get away with this for a long period of time, and not just get away with it, remain in the Senate, but remain chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee at a time when he was selling us out to overseas power. So I understand your skepticism, and I endorse it, because you got to think if it was easy for Bob to do it, there has to be someone else who figured out that, especially if you have the right letter at the end of your name, a D, the Justice Department might look the other way, or at least slow roll it.
Okay. And I agree with you. And my last point is this. There is probable cause, and there is reasonable, articulate suspicion, et cetera, that crime has been committed of many of these senators, because many of them have nice houses. They put kids through private school. They put kids through college even. They have income of about $150,000 to $200,000, and many of them in 10, 15, 20 years are mega millionaires. And so there could be tax evasion if we were to go into their houses and go into their safety deposit boxes, or there could be absolutely bribery too, especially if we use this Menendez standard, which may be not too high, as your other guest and you were just speaking of, a legal issue there. So when I look at this, I think it's just like Trump, I think it's a political persecution. They pointed that finger at him when they could point it at any senator if they're going to go to their house and their safe deposit boxes. And when you look at Trump, if we put the 100 senators and their families through what Donald Trump has been put through, I think we would have about 3 left, maybe, that could stand without an indictment. This is ridiculous.
Maybe you're on to something, Jerry. And by the way, thanks for calling in to the Matt Rooney Show. Keep holding it down for us in Central Jersey, assuming you classify Central Jersey as a real thing. That's the whole topic we're not even going to get into tonight. We've touched on that before. Maybe we need to do random checks on these members of Congress now. We all know sometimes that happens in high schools where they randomly check lockers. They do it in prison. If the quality of public servants is degrading to this point in the country, maybe we need to have a government agency randomly check up on these guys and gals.
Well, if we did checks, then our good old friend Danilo Cavalcante wouldn't have gotten out, so sure.
With his Eagle shirt on.
Well, he got that. He stole that, so.
He did steal that.
Yeah, heinous shirt, by the way. Absolutely heinous, but, that's besides the point.
Okay, listen, you're already testing the audience tonight.
That's what I do.
We have listeners all over the place, but we're based in Philadelphia. You can't keep dumping on the Eagles.
Heinous.
It's not polite.
It's a heinous team.
Bella's just...
I don't watch football.
Yeah.
I don't understand football. I was a marching band. I watched every single Friday night football game. Don't know a single thing.
I have no idea what you were watching.
I couldn't tell you the first thing about it.
Yeah, well, neither could Dan, I'm sure.
I tried. She didn't understand it.
I did. I was asking him about the TV in here and what a down was, and I didn't. I still don't really know what a down is, but It's fine.
I'm watching his blank expression right now. He's not sure whether he should say something, whether he will say something.
I don't know how you want me to describe it.
Be very careful, bud. She's sitting in the booth with you.
Okay.
I can't get in there quickly enough to save you.
She's not gonna rip me apart.
You don't know that.
Nah, she won't.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
Yeah, that'd be great for ratings.
You're like
No
less
way,
than
because it's
5
not
feet away
radio
from
friendly.
me.
Well, no, you just would hear the horrendous noises of you getting beat to a pulp.
You do
I mean,
that
there's no
little
doubt
girl
Bella
scream
would win.
that you do.
Yeah, can we hear the scream again? Yeah.
It gets me every time.
There's still an hour and a half left of this program, buddy. You better watch it.
Look, she saw me cry at a concert and she heard me scream like that, so.
He did cry at the concert.
Not that specific one.
No, it was the time before that, but.
Yeah.
It's happened twice?
No.
I've screamed at the last one and then I cried at the one before.
The first one. This was the first concert that him and I went to together.
Yeah.
Like,
I've told
dating.
you this before.
And he was like, I'm just so happy. And then he was crying. It was cute.
It's been a band that I wanted to see like my whole life.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to be there.
Cute's not the first.
No, it was cute. I was like, oh, if you're happy, I'm happy.
It's not the first word that came to my mind. But it is a great hotkey. We can use it for lots of things.
It's cute.
Like, okay, Bob Menendez goes to jail. Someone announces they're going to make him, Bob, their girlfriend.
We will fight you.
No, not that one. The scream.
Oh, sorry. Live look at Bob Menendez's cell.
Ick joke from Matt. 855-839-1210. And again,
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Over on YouTube, it's not malarkey. It's the truth. You can actually watch just as well as listen. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Please like our YouTube page as well, and specifically this video. We're up to over 4,500 subscribers, and the show does really well on YouTube, remarkably. All of you that want to watch us just the same as listen to us. I can't imagine why, but I'm glad that there are as many sickos out there as there apparently are, and we appreciate your patronage. This is Matt Rooney, end of the Matt Rooney Show. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with more of our second hour in just a minute.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Don't miss Good News in Real Estate with Deanne Katsaros and Mark Cumberland, Saturdays at 1 p.m. Find out all you need to know about home buying and selling. Considering a career in real estate? Visit PhiladelphiaRealEstateClasses.com. Good News in Real Estate, Saturdays 1 p.m. on WPHT.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at St. Ignatius Church in Yardley with Dennis Horan and Brendan Donegan, Saturday, November 4th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Hi, I'm PJ Vogt, here to tell you about my new podcast, Search Engine. On Search Engine, we tackle the kinds of questions that keep you up at night. Like, why are drug dealers putting fentanyl in everything? Should we be worried that Elon Musk believes that we're living in a simulation? And, for the love of God, is it actually unsafe to drink the coffee on airplanes? On Search Engine, no question is too big and no question is too small. Listen and follow Search Engine with PJ Vogt and Odyssey Podcast. Available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Paoli. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Well, I wake up some dream I made up. No
they're not just coming for Bob Menendez. They're coming for Russell Brand next. Have you been following this, Danabella?
Russell Brand.
Your Russell Brand impression is on point.
That's pretty much all I could say. I can't say anything else.
It's good, though.
The only thing that I was following was when he was watching the video beforehand, and I said, who is that? I know that. I know that voice.
Yeah, you know Russell Brand.
And she also said the same thing. He's great in bedtime stories.
I said, that's the guy in Bedtime Story.
I don't know what else he's in.
That's the only movie that I like.
He's in that one movie. Is it Couples Retreat? Is that the one? What's the one where, maybe if Jacqueline's listening, she can text me this. He is the new boyfriend of the lead. And her old boyfriend goes to this resort, and they're there together at the same time, and Russell Brand is like the obnoxious new love interest.
You have, let's see here. Get Him to the Greek, not that one.
It's not Get Him to the Greek.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall, yes, that's it.
Then you also had Hop, Despicable Me, Bedtime Stories, great movie, by the way. Arthur, Death on the Nile, Rock of Ages, and Despicable Me.
Yeah.
I literally know like 2 of those movies.
Yeah.
Get Him to the Greek, probably.
Yeah, he was in Katy
No?
Perry's Part of Me.
Despicable Me and Hop.
He's also married to Katy Perry.
He was.
He was. They're not anymore.
For a hot minute, yeah.
He's married to Laura Brand. Sorry.
See, you got 2 phrases.
Yeah, I did.
Wow. Good on you, little guy.
Thanks.
But Russell Brand's one of those actors who you maybe don't remember the name of the movie, but as Bella said, you remember seeing him. Now he's been accused of Me Too-esque transgressions. They are trying to cancel him. And the truly crazy thing about it is, let's set aside in your mind for a moment whether you believe he's a pig, not a pig, whatever, right? You should be innocent until proven guilty, but we know very often that is not the case. However, the UK government is coming down on him, and he actually explains this in a video. We'll play it if we have time this evening. And you have social media platforms that are already moving to deplatform him simply on the basis of allegations. He hasn't been convicted of a darn thing, and they're already trying to take him down. And he gave a speech the other day. I don't know where it was originally posted, but it was him announcing that essentially at this point he's going to rely on Rumble because it's one of the last platforms that is devoted to free speech, at least in his opinion.
Elon Musk also offered him a spot on X.
On X.
Yeah, he said everyone's proven innocent until proven guilty, so he always has a voice on X.
The whole idea that you can be canceled based upon mere allegation, I know it's no longer shocking because it's what we do now in this country. We're coming up on Halloween in just about a month. I know that's Dan's favorite holiday. We think of the Salem witch trials, right? It's something we talk about this time of year because it's spooky. And it's often pointed out as a dark passage in American history when our justice system hadn't evolved to the point where we don't have witch trials, right? We don't accuse people of things based upon mere allegation.
I don't think he's getting. I mean, he's not a Republican or conservative in any way, but I think
I don't think he fits neatly on the ideological spectrum.
No. The reason why he's getting canceled, more than likely, in my opinion, is because he's talking back against the left. Anyone who talks back against the left is just getting canceled left and right.
Right.
Even if you are on that side, you're done. You're canned.
And he's a proponent of the medical freedom movement.
Correct.
Right? And so he says a lot of things about Big Pharma and Bill Gates and some powerful people and interests.
Same reason why RFK is basically getting canceled with the whole COVID vaccine. He's not getting canceled, but it's the same thing.
Another guy who's absolutely not a conservative.
No.
Because it isn't about R versus D like it used to be. Right? It's now about the left's agenda. And anyone who challenges it, no matter who you are, they will cancel you if they can. They will take you down. So that's why, I was thinking about this the other day. Let's assume, just for the sake of argument, that one of these Russell Brand accusers is telling the truth. I almost feel sorry for them because we are in a position now in this culture, this Western culture, which we all inhabit, where you have to be extra skeptical because you know that the deep state is not above fabricating things in order to get rid of someone who challenges their narrative. It's happening all the time. Donald Trump, obviously, is the most prominent and famous example. But it does a disservice, and this is not an original point of yours truly, but I'll make it anyway. It does a disservice in these situations to real victims, this whole cancel culture nonsense, which is one of the many ironies that's baked into this cake, right? Because when everyone is accused of something and automatically tried in the court of public opinion before we've had a fair airing of the evidence, when every accuser must be believed, right? It cheapens the plight of true victims when there is actual evidence and we go about it in the way that we should, which is to try someone in a court of law if there's probable cause and there's enough evidence to prove the accusation. So it's one of the sadder things about this past in which we find ourselves in this era of our history. But we'll keep calling it out here. We're a free speech station here at 1210 WPHT. We're proud to be so, and we're going to continue to be so long as myself and everybody else here has anything to say about it. 855-839-1210 is the number here at the Matt Rooney Show. Dan, should we take a quick break and come back with our guest? You're in charge of the clock.
No, take the guest then.
Should we do our guest now?
Guest then break.
Guest then break?
Yeah.
All right, boss man, whatever you say. See, Bella, I want you to take note of that. Next time he complains about me and says that I'm imperious, you see how I defer to him?
Boss man.
Boss man. I even called him boss man. Don't you start calling him boss man.
I'm not going to. That's weird.
I'm the one
That's
who says
weird.
boss man.
That's ick.
It is ick.
I'm the one who says boss man.
You call her boss man?
Well, no, I call you boss man.
You do
Don't
call me boss
ever
man.
call me boss man,
I
Daniel.
call Nick boss man. I call Greg boss man. I call Anthony boss man.
But I think when you say it to Greg, there's at least some respect.
Because he actually is my boss.
He actually is your boss?
Yeah.
You don't get paid without Greg?
Yeah,
With me,
that's true.
you're mocking me.
Yeah, you're right, boss man.
You're right, boss man. I don't respect you, boss man. Let's bring in our guest. We were talking quite a bit tonight about Bob Menendez, obvi, as the kids would say. We've talked specifically about the criminal justice dimensions of this scandal. It's an indictment after all. So we wanted to know the ins and outs of what he's actually accused of. What are the chances he's going to be convicted? What exactly are the problems with the prosecution and how it's being handled? We've already covered a lot of that. Let's shift over to the political side of the discussion. What happens next? Who is going to challenge this guy, assuming somehow he does become the Democrat nominee next year? And assuming he doesn't, who's going to carry the Republican banner forward? Well, one of the folks that wants to do it is Christine Serrano Glasner. She is a mom. She is the mayor of Mendham, New Jersey. She is a small business person, and now she wants to fight for the people of her home state. And if she has her way, turn this seat red, get elected as a Republican for U.S. Senate New Jersey for the first time since before Watergate. It's been quite a drought. Maybe she can end it. So without further ado, let's bring her in. Mayor, welcome to the Matt Rooney Show. We're grateful you joined us this evening.
Well, thank you, Matt, Bella, and Boss Man. I'm really happy to be on.
Don't build him up like
Yes! That's what I like to hear.
Just so you know, Mayor, not that I'm suggesting that you would ever do this. He can't vote in New Jersey anyway, so you don't have to be nice to him. He's a Pennsylvanian.
Listen,
yeah.
That's okay. My life has been one of service to people, and that's okay with me. I like people to be happy. So if Boss Man's happy and he can't vote for me, as long as he's got a good life going, that's what matters.
She's my fave.
Yeah, you're
She's
now
my
Dan's
fave.
favorite guest, and you made Bella's night. So if you accomplished nothing else,
This is
congratulations.
That's good. That's my goal every day, is to make sure that I improve somebody's life somewhere. And now I can go to bed now, but not before.
Not before the segment's done. You got to make it at least a little bit longer. But your point about public service, without even delving into your bio, I agree and I accept that is true, because you jumped into this race before Bob Menendez was indicted. You were already showing interest in running for U.S. Senate in New Jersey. And as I mentioned a minute ago, and I know you know New Jersey politics as well as I do, it's never easy as a Republican running statewide in New Jersey. Why did you feel as if you were up for this challenge and decide to bite it off?
Oh, I've been thinking about this for a couple of years. I wanted to wait until I have two girls, my husband and I, and wanted to wait until they were in college. And so I've worked in state government and federal government. And then we moved back to my hometown to raise the kids because New Jersey is a great place and has great schools. And I knew it was time. I'm watching what's going on with this administration. I'm watching what's going on with the economy. I'm listening to people. I'm talking to folks, not only in my town, but in other towns that are really struggling. I was at a 9/11 event, and an officer just started talking to me. He was just there, and he said, my family's grocery bill has gone up to $500 a week because they have kids, active kids. I mean, who can continue with that, right? So for me, that's what this is all about. I feel like Bob Menendez has been in office long enough. He's been in politics for 50 years. He's been in federal office for 30 years. Now we have him being convicted. No, he's not convicted yet, but he will be convicted once again. And the Democrat leadership has allowed this to go on. They've turned a blind eye. We need to get people in office that understand what's going on with people in New Jersey, that understand what they need, and that know that they're going to be fighting for them down in D.C., but also spending time up here. You have to wonder, how often has Bob Menendez been back in New Jersey, and when does he ever leave Hudson County? Have you ever seen him come down to your area?
No, I mean, I live in Camden
here.
County. I don't think Cory Booker or Bob Menendez could find South Jersey on a map. Occasionally, they end up down here by mistake because they forget to take the right exit on the Garden State Parkway. So that's how I think it usually happens, by accident. But it's not an unfair point, right?
Or
I mean,
when it comes to campaigning.
Right,
That's
when it
you'll
comes
see
to
somebody
campaigning.
around. But they're in these offices for 6 years. A senator should be going around, and in other states they do. They should be going around the entire state listening to people.
well, and
right?
to your
Finding
point, what
out.
is a guy who makes his money apparently by selling influence overseas and collecting gold bars? How can he relate to what I'm spending at the grocery store on a weekly basis and doing what many of us now have to do, right? Which is we're at the phase now where some people are living paycheck to paycheck. Most of us, even if you're not, are taking inventory every week. You know what? We don't really need that in the cart. Let's take it out because we have to be conscious of the fact that rough economic times are coming and it's getting harder and harder to afford any semblance of the standard
Here's
of
one of
living that
my
Americans
measurements,
expect
Matt.
in this country.
Yeah, Matt, here's one of my measurements. When people start going to the gas pump, and instead of filling their tank, they say, ooh, I'll just take $20 worth.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
when you know, right? That's when you know people are really struggling. And that's what's going on. And one of the things Bob Menendez, and again, we should not be letting the Democrat leadership off the hook. I said already, they have turned a blind eye. This is, there's a Democrat that came out in the last couple of days, and literally his quote was, I'm shocked. He's shocked at what?
Right.
Who in New Jersey is shocked at what is happening right now? Because Bob Menendez has gotten away with it for years. And why? Because they wanted to retain that seat. They didn't care that that seat wasn't being used to serve the people of New Jersey, which is what it's for. They
Yeah,
just
being
cared about
shocked
taking care
that
of their own interests.
being shocked that Bob Menendez is accused of corruption would be like being shocked that you throw a dinner party and invite John Fetterman and he shows up dressed like a slob, right? I mean, it's what you should expect based upon based upon a long pattern of established behavior. And so it should be a surprise to no one that this is the pass at which we found ourselves. What do you think the reason is? Not just as a New Jerseyan, but also as a New Jersey elected official. You're a mayor up in Morris County. Why do you think our state's tolerance level for corruption is so high? Whether it be Jim McGreevey, whether it be Bob Torricelli, the Torch, the list goes on and on. Bid rig, right? We've got this long parade of corrupt officials and corrupt happenings and scandals. And it doesn't seem like the people of New Jersey ever seem to assign too much importance to it when they go to the polls. Why is that?
I think because people in New Jersey is one of the highest, it takes turns with New York, taxed states in the country. And it has been for 20, 30 years. People struggle here all the time. Yes, you can make a higher wage here than maybe you can in Kansas, but the cost of living is so much higher. And so people are constantly trying to save for the future, or they're trying to save to send their kids to college, save for retirement. They're busy. They're stressed. And so when it comes to politics, they just go in that booth and they press the button for their party. And they don't even bother to pay attention to who's there. They just listen within days before Election Day and say, okay, I'm going to take the easy way out because I'm stressed. And these people have been telling me for the last couple of weeks, they're the ones that are going to take care of me. They're the ones that are going to watch out for our interests. And that's not true. Look what's going on in this country now. Look at the Biden administration. Electric cars for everybody by 2035. How outrageous is that? How many people can afford an electric car today? I guess if you had some gold bars, you could afford an electric car, right? But the average person can't. And think about that. It's also supposed to be for improving our environment, which we all want. That's extremely important. Everybody is going to require electricity for these electric cars. And where do we get our electricity from? Well, we know, unfortunately, that could be from
well, you're not going to get it from a wind turbine, right? I mean, they're promising the world when it comes to these wind turbines.
But where else does it come from? Coal. I mean, how much we're going to run out of coal for all those electric cars?
Yeah,
right?
it's one of the silly aspects of this thing. Yeah, or for example, I mean, the fact that I think this is a point that doesn't get raised enough by Republicans that criticize this push towards electric cars. They're being facilitated by slave labor, right? You've got children in many cases in third world countries that are harvesting the material to create these batteries. So these yuppies that are driving around in their super expensive Teslas, they may love them, but it comes with a social cost, and it's a very high one, assuming you care about kids being mistreated. So I agree with you. It's absolute craziness. And hopefully we can do better in 2024. But back to the point about corruption, I think part of the reason New Jerseyans don't care is because they no longer believe there's actually a difference between the parties. So my question for you is, if you get the Republican nomination and you're staring down Bob Menendez, Andy Kim, who knows, maybe Phil Murphy, if he decides to run himself for this seat or appoint himself to it if Menendez resigns, how are you going to prove you're different? And how are you different?
Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much for asking. I'm sure that none of those three people that you mentioned or anybody else that gets in grew up the way I did. I grew up here in New Jersey. I had a father who was a New York City cop turned salesman, a mother who was a small business owner on Main Street for 30 years. I was one of 7 kids. My first career, I was a chef. I didn't go to full college because I knew that I was going to need to make a living and make a good living. So I did what I loved. I was a chef for a lot of years, and then I started segueing. I got into campaign politics. I got into government. When I got into government, I loved it because I said to myself, we can do better for people. People have such a bad opinion of government, and my goal was to communicate better with people and say, you know what? Government is supposed to be here to serve you, not to burden your life and make it worse. So the vast experiences that I bring, including as an executive for state government, including as a federal appointee, working with small businesses, trying to prevent overregulation, and then coming here to Mendham as a mom, becoming a councilwoman, becoming a mayor. I've had this vast experience that many of these people have not had. They grew up with silver spoons. I understand exactly the challenges that people in New Jersey are facing. I understand because I grew through it. And we've got to do better. New Jersey deserves better.
Well, it would certainly be nice to have a senator that understands New Jersey and just doesn't come back here to collect their cash and their luxury cars and their gold bars. Certainly that would be an upgrade. And maybe it will be Mayor Christine Serrano Glassner, who you can find on X over at her handle, Christine, and that's with a CH, 4NJ. Again, that's Christine 4NJ. And you can also check her out at her website, which is Christine4 spelled out, NJ.com, as this campaign, which is rapidly evolving, unfolds in the weeks and months ahead. Mayor, we greatly appreciate you joining us here on 1210 WPHT, and definitely keep us in the loop as this campaign rolls on. I think it's going to be an interesting one way or the other.
It will be. Thanks so much for having me on, Matt. And good night, Bella and Boss Man. I hope you guys continue to have some more laughs tonight.
Say good night, Boss Man. Be polite.
Good night, Christine. You're greatest.
Good night. Thank you.
He's smiling
you
ear
guys
to
have
ear
fun.
there. Check that out. Bella, this is like the opposite of ick.
It's going to go right to his head.
It is.
It really is.
Good. Well, you should all have a good night and go away with a good feeling.
We
right?
try. Usually, if the show doesn't end with Dan crying, we're okay. So that's the low bar, right? New Jersey, we have a low bar sometimes for corruption. Here we have a low bar on the program, but we'll do our darndest. Talk to you soon, Mayor.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And I mentioned earlier in the program, Jeff Van Drew now apparently going to run. There's more candidates. We'll see how this thing develops as time rolls on here. And Jeff Van Drew apparently is serious. So, one resignation, possibly. We'll see. I don't think we're going to get it tomorrow, but at least one indictment completely upending New Jersey politics and potentially the Senate picture heading into a very consequential cycle in 2024. You know we're going to continue to cover it here on the Matt Rooney Show. That much I can promise you, if not much else. What did you think, Daniel? I could tell you're somewhat smitten because she was nice to you.
Yeah, she
Usually
was.
you're a tough judge.
Yeah, she was great. She was great.
Yeah, she seems very down to earth.
Yes.
And authentic, right?
Yes.
And that's why I mentioned, because I like to give people credit, even though we don't choose sides on this program. She did get into this race before Menendez was indicted, and she knew this was going to be an even more uphill climb. So that counts for something. 855-839-1210 is the number here on the Matt Rooney Show. Let's take a break, and then we'll be back in just a moment. Don't move a muscle.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Heavy rain caused many events to be canceled or delayed in our area, including the Phillies' afternoon game with the Mets. Bob Menendez says he's not going anywhere. The indicted New Jersey senator facing calls to step down from members of his own party. President Biden plans to join striking UAW members on the picket line this week.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. When it comes to all your home improvement needs, trust is everything. And that's why for years, I've been talking about the amazing work my friends Stephanie and Matt and the entire team at Emmons has done for me and my home. My roof, doors, windows, siding, and yes, remodeling projects. Emmons can bring that same quality of work to all of your kitchen and bathroom remodeling needs. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, and now baths and kitchens. Emmons is the Delaware Valley's one-stop shop for all of your home improvement needs. Call 856-556-3229 and get a free estimate, or go online to emmonsroofing.com, or even better, come visit the Emmons Design Showroom in Cherry Hill. emmonsroofing.com. It's about trust, it's about quality, it's about great work, and that's why me and my family have used them for basically every project we've done to improve our home. emmonsroofing.com.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
I already regret bringing up the entire concept of a Central Jersey. Robert over on our YouTube page, that's youtube.com/@1210WPHT. He says that he lives in South Central West Jersey. What is that?
That's not a thing.
That is not a thing, Robert. Come on. I'm cutting you a little bit of slack here because I know you're a regular over in the YouTube chat, but let's not start just making up places now. We care about facts here on the Matt Rooney Show. And speaking of which, it's about the time for Dan's Fact of the Week. Make it a good one, buddy. Your lady love is watching.
That's a lot of pressure.
They're
always good. What are you talking about?
The factual accuracy of this segment of the program is about 66.3%.
Okay. If you could drive your car upwards, you would be in space in less than an hour.
If you could drive your car upwards, you'd be in space in less than an hour. So traveling at what speed?
What's your source?
I got no idea what speed. It just
What's your source?
says I can't reveal my sources.
Scientific. I can see it.
Yeah, you can't reveal my sources. Because Matt, here's the thing that Matt does.
Dan's the one that investigated the cocaine in the White House.
Here's the thing
it
that
was
Matt.
the same quality of research.
Here's the thing that Matt does. He doesn't like my fact, and he thinks it's wrong, and then he goes and he Googles it, and he's like, "Oh, look at that! It's true."
That's better than your Russell Brand impression, by the way.
That's exactly what you do.
That's exactly how I sound.
So go ahead.
Hey, Dan, it's me, Matt.
So go ahead.
On my show.
Look it up.
But
if you could drive your car upwards, you would be in space in less than an hour.
You are gaslighting Bella and I. You throw this fact out there. It's an intriguing fact, I'll admit that. But, I mean, the speed is the important part.
That's what I'm saying. I need the science. Like,
It doesn't say the speed.
I need the physics behind this.
Yes.
Or else I call B.
Don't Fauci this. You actually have to show us your math here, bud.
Yeah.
It doesn't say the speed. It literally just says the fact.
Did you ever take physics in high school?
No.
Neither did I.
No, I didn't.
Wow.
So
Well,
let's
it's
say
fairly
70.
obvious
Let's
that
say
Dan never
70.
took physics.
Let's say 70.
You
got to be
well,
you got to be going fast enough to at least reach space.
How many miles are between Earth and space?
Look, Matt's not gonna look it up.
No, seriously, how many miles are between Earth and space, Daniel?
Why are you asking me?
Because
I don't know.
I'm gonna do the math.
Why are you asking me, Bella?
Oh, here we go.
I'm
Here we
only-
go.
I'm
Here we
only
go.
the
Here we
one
go.
that threw a fact out there and doesn't want to defend it.
I got it. I got it. Astronomer Fred Hoyle was the first to point out that if you could drive a car upwards at 60 miles an hour, it would only take about an hour to get into space.
Okay. Well.
Did I not call it?
Okay, that was good. That was good sending your source. If you'd started out with that from the beginning,
Did I
I would have
not
believed
call
you
it?
more from
Did I not call it?
From the get-go. Okay.
Bella nails it again.
This is terrible.
You undermined your own credibility.
Just saying.
Undermined your own credibility. Hey, by the way, speaking of space, how do we feel about the Mexican aliens?
Yeah,
Dan hates this topic, by the way.
Yes. I work in a pharmacy part-time, and my boss he doesn't talk very much, but when he does, he asks like the weirdest questions, or he'll say like the funniest things that'll just come out of his mouth. And he's a really big guy, but he's super soft-spoken. So probably like 2
Big
weeks
teddy bear.
ago. No, yeah, really. He's like 6'4", 6'5", but his voice is so quiet. A week ago, he said to us, "Oh, did you hear they found alien bodies?" And I was like, "Nazar, what? Where did you even pull that out of?"
You assumed he was like Dan and just making things up. Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, they found them. They carbon dated them." And I was like, "What?"
And on the YouTube chat said, "Stop screaming." Sorry, Ann, that I am screaming.
He does that a lot outside of here too.
So sorry, Ann.
He's got voice modulation issues.
He really does.
We're working with him.
I scream about the things I'm passionate about.
I'm gonna get you a bark collar, so anytime like your voice goes over a certain decibel, just
that's not.
Or
We're coming up with all kinds of great ideas tonight. Dan with a bark collar, random checks on the home of Congress members to make sure they're not hoarding gold bars. Bella, you're a muse for this program.
I'm having so much
She's
fun
never
right
come
now.
on this program ever again.
I'm going to come on this program so much more often.
Seriously, I could have a conversation with Stalker. We need to make this a more regular thing.
Jokes on her. She works. So
can we just? Okay.
I work until 6 at Hand and Stone. That's it though.
Yeah, I mean, some people, Dan, don't mind working hard to make money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not everybody comes in here and just coasts.
I work
She's
less
clearly-
jobs than he does. Even though I do have the luxury of like the full-time job at Hand and Stone, I am not getting booked out as much as I want. But
yeah, well, producers here get paid scraps, so.
Well, now it's probably going to go up because now you've gotten free advertising, right? Because you've been on the program.
Yeah, right.
Although, I don't know,
Hopefully.
some of the dudes in our chat are pretty creepy that listen to the show. So if they come in and they say, "Hey, I heard you on the Matt Rooney
I won't
show,"
tell you which Hand and Stone location I work at.
Yeah, they were
I would recommend you do not.
They
do that.
were a lot of these dudes have a thing for KJP, Kamala Harris. A lot of them are fascinated over them. So.
A little creepy.
Yeah, they're fine towards Bella. They
Oh my
like
gosh,
Bella, so they're
your
fine.
mom is in here thinking about your mom's coming in for a service in
Yes, she
like
is.
Next week, 2 weeks.
So if Jackie wants to come in as well, give her the card.
Yeah, seriously, I have a business card in my wallet right now. But it's
If Jackie's listening, here's what you're getting for Christmas.
It's a little bit of a drive to my location, I will say. From here, at least. It's across the street from where Daniel lives, but it's a little drive from here.
Oh, all the way out there. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I won't say where that is.
It's all good.
I will not say where that is.
It's fine.
Well, you said it's fine, but
It's
don't speak for the lady.
No, I'm saying like it's a fine drive.
Oh, it's a fine drive.
It's
yeah.
fine.
No,
I mean,
it's not
from
monsooning.
Where he is to where we are.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a drive.
From the south of Jersey.
Yeah.
Where I reside. 855-839-1210, by the way. Those are our digits if you want to call in the third hour, because sadly the second hour is now behind us. But fear not, because they're crazy enough around here to give us not one, not two, but 3 hours of Matt Rooney Show every Sunday night. We've got plenty more to talk about. We've got some AOC clips. We have Joe Biden saying some crazy things, which that's nothing new, but it's actually increasing in frequency. And then we also have, much to my chagrin, Twit Talk coming up at the end of the final hour, which I want to see if Bella gets the icks that I usually get.
She
while listening
contributed
to it.
some. So.
I did. I sent him a couple in the car. So.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So we'll see what he plays and doesn't play for Bella.
Well, you all have that to look forward to, folks. Again, 855-839-1210 is the number. I am Matt Rooney. This is the Matt Rooney Show. We're going to play some ads to make some cash, and we'll be back on the other side.
And Doug. With Liberty Mutual, you can customize and save hundreds on your car insurance. But what to buy with those savings? Yep, I bought a sound effects machine.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Let me tell you about my buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Great guy. Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, or implant dentistry, look no further. Dr. Veneria and his award-winning team that have your whole family covered, just like mine. Dr. Veneria's office exceeds CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control with centralized UV sterilization of airflow to ensure your safety. Locations right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury, 856-786-2020 or veneriadental.com.
Starting September 2nd is your chance to trade up to a new luxury hot tub from my friends at Spring Dance Hot Tubs. So their annual trade-in event is happening now until the end of the month, which means you can save big time, up to $3,000 off a brand new hot tub. They're going to take your old, leaking, broken hot tub and turn it into your new place to relax, entertain, and have some me time. For me, I love my Spring Dance Hot Tub. You've heard me talk about it for years, out on the back slate patio on a starry summer night or fall night. Whether it's hot and you turn down the temperature, or whether it's a chilly fall night and then you turn up the hot tub, it feels so good. It's healing for your body, soul, mind, and for your relationship. Just visit my friends at any Spring Dance Hot Tubs location. Find the hot tub or swim spa of your dreams today. Find them at springdancehottubs.com. springdancehottubs.com. Start relaxing now. Tell them Dawn sent you.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Talk. They hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Matt Rooney. On Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Well, the reviews are in. Bella's a hit. Not only have the listeners been spontaneously weighing in on social media via the interwebs about how much they like Bella on the program, but now both Rooney women, both my mother and my wife, have said Bella's awesome. So I have no pull here at the station, Bella. That's obvious.
So this is going to encourage your wife to come on, right?
I would love it. I would love to get the lovely Jacqueline in the studio.
Let's have them both on at the same time. See how that works.
I'll do that.
You like that, Bella?
I'll do that. In a
All right.
heartbeat.
Maybe we could do like a holiday special, like around the holidays. Dan hates playing Christmas music, but he indulged me a little bit last year.
I'll play Christmas music. I just want to wait till it's...
But you asked me today if you could play. Is it too early to play that Nightmare Before Christmas song?
Yeah, I mean, Halloween's
and I said
fine.
Yes.
He's a spooky guy. He loves Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween is fine because Halloween is just like... Here's the thing. All these haunted attractions are open. They opened last weekend, so I feel like that's the start of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, December 1st, is the start of Christmas season.
No, it's not.
So December 1st, you can start playing Christmas music.
Respectfully, I'm going to disagree with you.
That's fine.
Most people, Daniel, I think would agree that after Thanksgiving is when the Christmas season begins.
That's acceptable.
I'm okay with the week of Thanksgiving. Normally, that's when I start putting my Christmas decorations out anyways.
So the Monday of Thanksgiving
or even
week,
like that weekend.
You're not offended by seeing a Christmas tree in a store?
No,
or
I'll
hearing
take
a
my
little jingle
decorations
bells?
out of the
I was in a
the
Walmart
attic.
this weekend. There was Christmas stuff already out.
Yeah.
It's September.
Yeah,
that's too early.
That's what I'm saying.
I was thinking about going to buy a pumpkin with my kid, like one of those ones that now moves. They have these cool animatronic pumpkins. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like you walk up to take the candy and it starts talking at you.
Yeah.
And I noticed that the other day when I went to the store. The selection's already dwindling because the Christmas stuff is already being rolled out.
Yeah.
It's September 24th.
Yeah.
Have
Too
some
early.
decency.
Way too early.
It is
I'll
way
be
too
okay
early.
if the Halloween stuff starts going on sale now, because then I have money now to spend on it.
That wouldn't be the worst thing.
Exactly.
I mean, Spirit Halloween has a good business model. You gotta respect that. They pop up a couple months, boom, out, make enough money to survive.
Whatever that local empty storefront is.
Yeah.
In your shopping mall.
Usually like a Rite Aid or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually it's Rite Aids, old liquor stores.
Exactly.
Any place that has a lot of square footage.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they have, 100 square feet of just wigs.
True.
In Spirit Halloween.
And useless costumes.
Yes. Plenty of useless costumes.
Wanna
I
be
think
in
it's probably where John Fetterman does most of his shopping.
I mean, you want to be an inflatable penis, just go to Spirit Halloween and it's right there.
Well, who doesn't have that need from time to time?
I don't know, man. People with erectile dysfunction.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
It's.
You really have no filter tonight.
He's showing off, Bella. He's showing off because you're here.
It was the autism one, and now it's the erectile dysfunction one, and
The autism joke was worse.
It's fine.
Because the penis joke just,
there's a special spot down below for you.
It's fine.
I'm not saying that I'm not going with you, but
it's fine.
We'll all be there playing cards, but
yeah, for real.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
I think it's our association with Dan that's probably damning
Probably.
us. Not to
It's
get
our-
all
it's our one-way
theological.
ticket.
Fine. It's fine.
All right. 855-839-1210 is the number if you want to call and get in on this train wreck that is a radio show that we put on every Sunday night, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. You can also head over to watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT to not only take in the program with all of your senses, but also participate in the chat where it's mom night. Linda's now weighing in. She's talked about Christmas music. I think she also endorsed Bella. She also wanted to know who was screaming.
Yeah, my mom's not a fan of Christmas music until like the last possible second. December 24th and probably December 25th, and then the 26th, like take it off, like turn it off.
Wait,
Yeah,
why?
I love your mom, but that's not
She's
not enough time to take in the holiday.
She's not enough. She's not a Christmas person.
I was just gonna ask if she's a holiday person. Then.
She likes the Christmas day. She doesn't like the build up to it. Or maybe it's vice versa.
Maybe that's
I'm
where
not
you
entirely
get
I'm
sure.
the opposite. I like the build up to it.
Maybe it's vice versa. I'm not entirely sure. She tells me all the time, but I forget what it is.
I like when I can go to the mall and they have their Christmas decorations out.
No.
I'm with you, Bella. I like it a little bit further in advance. I think it arose too when I was in college because it was this whole idea of getting excited to go home for the holidays.
I did not go to college. I lied. I went to a year. Didn't like it, but
Well, no, that's fine. It's just the point that it's like it's getting you excited for the season.
It's valid.
So when I was getting ready for exams or something, hearing a Christmas Carol made you think like, okay, that happy time of year is now around the corner.
That's when I started, like, because as soon as I saw like Christmas decorations on campus, I was like, all right, end of the semester's coming.
Yes, there you go. See,
I get that. I didn't get much of a holiday break at beauty school. We weren't allowed to be out for so many days.
Well, I was going to say beauty school I know is pretty intense.
Yeah, well, it's just that
my barber was explaining that to me recently. You can't really miss any time.
You can't, and if you do, you have to like do overtime for it, and you can't be out of school for like 2 weeks consecutively. So that's why their holidays are like a week long. So.
Wow.
I know.
No good.
No, I had a really good time, and I went to a really good school too, but.
It's intense.
Yeah.
It's a grind.
Yeah. And I went to like night classes too, which was hard because it was up in Allentown, so I'd be there till 9:30 and then have to drive home and go to work the next morning.
Well, a hard, laborious program was good training to date Dan. Perhaps that's why you're able to do what very few women would ever dare to do.
Right?
Which is spend this much time with him, especially given how raunchy he is. It's the raunch in the third hour of the program that really defines your participation.
No, I
you drop the P-bomb.
It's been a long weekend for Daniel.
I am like this all the time.
Yeah.
I will say whatever I want.
You're kind of like Phil Murphy.
I literally have no filter when it comes to anything. I just say whatever I want.
This is true.
You heard that Phil Murphy bear comment this week? Yes. It was a very Daniel kind of thing where you hear it and you're just like, what? Why did this Why did this leave your mouth?
Boy, did I hear Phil Murphy's bear story.
Oh my God! For those who missed this, and you couldn't be blamed for missing it because there was a lot of other news this week at the national level in New Jersey. But Phil Murphy was speaking to a local organization, one of these groups that has a long acronym for their title. What they do, who cares? I don't really care. It doesn't really matter. And he was talking about how difficult it is to work in his administration to keep progress chugging along in the state of New Jersey, which in of itself is a joke. He's been a terrible governor. We're not making progress in New Jersey. But it was the story that he imparted that made news. I think we bleep some of this, Dan, because we have to, right?
Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to figure it out.
We wake up every day trying to eat the ass out of a bear.
Trying to eat the ass out of a bear.
In what right mind would you need to say that in a story?
Don't you hate when that happens to you?
I hate when
I hate when that happens to me.
I hate when that happens to me.
And someone's listening out there saying, wow, Matt, give us the context. There is no context. I just gave you all the context I could possibly afford you. 1 minute he's talking about some studies about how great it is to be in New Jersey and how hard he and his administration are working. And then all of a sudden he goes, my friend told me that every day. And then you got that. And then everybody laughed, and he doubled down on it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it referred to online as a gaffe. A gaffe is when you say something you didn't mean to say.
He meant that. He very deliberately meant that.
He very much meant that. So you have to really feel kind of bad for New Jersey Bears. I don't know if there's any type of...
there was a black bear spotted in the area, I think, over the weekend. So I guess Phil Murphy got to it.
Well, he recently, and I don't know if there's any connection here, he recently allowed the black bear hunt in New Jersey to proceed.
Oh, great.
He actually originally canceled it. He kowtowed to environmentalists in our state and said, no, you're not allowed to hunt black bears. And, of course, it was a disaster because the entire point of a black bear hunt is pro-conservation, right? You want to try to control the population for their safety, for the safety of the people of the state. So finally, he's allowed to proceed again. But now I'm starting to wonder, maybe it's the black bears have something on him, given what he apparently likes to do to them every morning before breakfast.
Clearly, that's what I would. I'd be like, dude, if I was a bear, I would go straight to Phil Murphy because I'm getting...
Remember, we are New Jersey.
It's extra terrifying, too, when you consider the teeth, but I don't want to get too ick.
Maybe they think he's a horse. Maybe the bears think it's a horse, so that's why they go to him.
One of the funniest comments I've ever heard about Phil Murphy is someone told me the scariest thing to imagine on the planet, and we're coming up on Halloween time, so maybe this is appropriate, is Phil Murphy with those teeth just eating an apple. Just imagine that for a second.
No.
He's got that mouth of Sauron, Voldemort thing going on.
No.
And sometimes people say to me, "Oh, could you make fun of the guy's appearance?" Look, I'm not really making fun of his appearance. He's a billionaire. He can afford braces. Like, he could do something with that mouth, right, given how much money he's worth. He's not literally a billionaire, but he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Or veneers.
Or something. Just, I don't know.
I mean, if he has enough money to have a vacation home in Italy, he has enough money to fix his teeth.
Right, he's got a villa in Italy. I mean, I think Phil Murphy would be better off with a grill. One of those gold grills. It would look better than what he has right now going on upstairs. So that happened this week. I thought that would actually be the big story on Friday, but then Bob Menendez went and got himself indicted, and everything went sideways. But it wasn't the only thing that happened over the course of the past 72 hours that's noteworthy. I mentioned it earlier in the program, and it's the big story today. A new poll showing that Joe Biden is not only trailing Donald Trump, but trailing Donald Trump by 10 points in a head-to-head matchup. It shocked even some of us, and I'll count myself among those in this category, that have been warning Trump detractors for a long time. Listen, this whole narrative that he can't win, it's not rooted in fact. The polls show him, if you could jump over to the RCP average, running significantly ahead of where he was at this same point in 2020 versus Joe Biden. To suggest that even before this poll came out, if the election was held tomorrow, Donald Trump would probably win the Electoral College. Republicans don't have to win the popular vote because California throws that entire calculus and skews it, right? They just have to get really close. If Donald Trump is somehow up 10 points, whether you believe that or not, I mean, you're talking Ronald Reagan-esque 1984 Electoral College landslide. It is massive. But one of the things that I think you really need to zero in on in this poll, if you're looking for some data which is instructive, and it shouldn't surprise anyone, especially if, as our last guest pointed out, you've bought groceries or gas in the past week. This is from ABC News, by the way. 44% of Americans in the latest ABC News Washington Post poll say they've gotten worse off financially under Biden's presidency. The most for any president in ABC Post polls since 1986. Just 37% approve of his job performance, while 56% disapprove. Still fewer approve of Biden's performance on the economy. Guess what that number is? 30%. As the old joke goes, that's pretty much immediate family and paid staffers approving of you and no one else. That's what it is once you get down to 30%. And the numbers for Biden are miserable across the board. Disapproval on overall policy, 56%. The economy, 64%. Immigration, 62%. Only 23% of Americans think Joe Biden's doing a good job on the immigration front. And this is at a time where you've got blue cities like New York completely reversing their position on sanctuary statehood and saying, on second thought, we're closed. We can't take anyone else. They're the innkeeper from the nativity story. There's no room left in the inn. Despite the fact that for years, they've been agitating for open borders. And it's the same thing in my state of New Jersey, by the way. Phil Murphy declared New Jersey a sanctuary state. Then Joe Biden recently announced, we found this out through the grapevine, he was considering putting illegal aliens in an encampment at Atlantic City Airport. And Phil Murphy said, you know what? I don't know if I would support that proposal. Well, you were for sanctuary statehood just a year ago. What's changed? Forgive me for being a little cynical, but I cover politics. That's my job. So I have plenty of reason for cynicism based upon what I observe. They're looking at these numbers. Their pollsters are coming up with the same data. They know how unpopular their policies are, in large part because Americans are suffering. There is not a thing in this country that's better today than it was when Donald Trump left office, which is remarkable because we were in the middle of a pandemic when Donald Trump left office back in January 2021. Another interesting takeaway from this poll, not many Americans really care that much about these prosecutions. The left has hung their hat on Donald Trump being indicted and what a threat he is to democracy. Joe Biden's own surrogates have said that's going to be a big part of their campaign. They've told fellow Democrats, don't worry about the polls. We're going to talk about what a threat Donald Trump is to the United States? Well, this poll suggests that quite a few Americans aren't even really figuring that into their calculus. That is a huge problem for old Joe. And old Joe, I say that deliberately because we're very concerned about his age, too. This poll also bears that out. Yeah. So there's no good news for Joe Biden right now.
I don't want to butt in on your thought, but Diane,
this is your show, Dan. I'm just living here.
It's your show. But Diane Healing Point Massage on YouTube says, Rich, thought you were older. Love your views. This isn't Rich Zioli.
Does she think I'm rich?
That's what I'm getting. Yeah. This is Matt Rooney, but thank you.
Let's see. Rich, thought you were older. Love your views. I have to make sure I tell Zioli that.
Yeah, this is not Rich Zioli, by the way. Rich is Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. This is Matt Rooney, Sundays, 7 to 10 p.m. Yeah.
Yes, we love Rich. He's a good friend of mine. I am not him. I am not Rich Zioli. He's probably funnier than I am. I'm about half a foot taller. And he's on during the week. I mean, I think that did I cover all the major differences there, Dan?
Yes.
Yes, he's a funnier, shorter me, who's also on Monday through Friday.
Yes. Okay, you're occasionally on Monday through Friday. Not Monday through Friday, but you're occasionally on.
Matt, sorry, was talking to Bella about getting. No.
These people.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not tracking.
I don't know.
Don't worry about it, Diane. We're not trying to be mean to you. We're just trying to figure out what you're saying.
Hey, all I'm saying is that the YouTube chat...
You're still making more sense than Joe Biden.
Yeah, the YouTube chat is free content, so whatever you say on the YouTube chat, just be prepared for it to be said on air. I shouldn't have to preface that, but I will. She also said you're better looking, so...
Oh, hey, I'll take... Well,
I mean...
I don't want to be mean to Rich. I don't know.
I mean, Rich is behind us.
So. I mean, I am the best-looking guy at the station. I don't think there's really any doubt about that, but it's not polite to say it.
Yeah, that's Sunday guy, am I right?
Yeah, right. That's why they put the eye candy on Sunday. Be too much for the week. Give people a toothache, how sweet it is. Let's take a break, right, so everybody can recover with their gag reflex. Sorry. Was that you? I actually prefer that to your scream. I'll take it. I'll take it here on the Matt Rooney Show, folks, on 1210 WPHT. 855-839-1210. Quick timeout. Back in a moment.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. September is Cholesterol Education Month, and it's time to take charge. So how is your cholesterol? For over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted partner in cholesterol support. I've relied on Rescue Supplements for years. With Rescue, you'll find specific supplements tailored to your needs. Favorites like omega-3s, red yeast rice, and more. Right now, all you have to do is just use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, to double up your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Again, use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, buy one, get a matching Rescue cholesterol product for free. I've personally seen the firsthand benefits of Rescue supplements. They are incredible. Remember, use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, to double up your cholesterol support order for free today.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. When it comes to all your home improvement needs, trust is everything. And that's why for years, I've been talking about the amazing work my friends Stephanie and Matt and the entire team at Emmons has done for me and my home. My roof, doors, windows, siding, and yes, remodeling projects. Emmons can bring that same quality of work to all of your kitchen and bathroom remodeling needs. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, and now baths and kitchens. Emmons is the Delaware Valley's one-stop shop for all of your home improvement needs. Call 856-556-3229 and get a free estimate, or go online to emmonsroofing.com, or even better, come visit the Emmons Design Showroom in Cherry Hill. emmonsroofing.com. It's about trust, it's about quality, it's about great work, and that's why me and my family have used them for basically every project we've done to improve our home. emmonsroofing.com.
Calling on Atco, New Jersey to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
Download it now.
Feel them crash against my skin, and I smile as I respire because I know they'll never win. There's a haze above my TV that changes everything I see, and maybe if I continue watching, I'll lose the traits that worry me. Can we fast forward to go down on me? Stop there and let me correct it. I wanna
It's
live
one
a life
thing
from a new perspective.
to hear a poll, read a poll, hear talking heads, digest the poll. How about actual human beings that are reflected in the poll? CBS, and I suspect being a legacy media outlet, they probably didn't love the results they got. But they went out and they did some man-on-the-street interviews in the last few days to speak to disaffected Biden 2020 voters. And this is really key because I've been preaching this on this program. So often, those that want you to believe Donald Trump won't get elected in 2024 fall back on this notion of, hey, look how many votes Joe Biden got last time around. Who are the people that are now going to switch teams and vote for the Republican Donald Trump this time around if they voted against him last time? They can't fathom the fact that there are people out there that don't care about these phony indictments. They don't care what narrative the media is pushing. They're looking at their bank account, their 401k, public safety, which public safety, there's a story in the stack tonight. Listen to this. This is from, I think, is it Daily Wire? I think this is from the Daily Wire. Congressional staffers are being advised not to wear jewelry or become distracted on cell phones while walking around in the crime-ridden city. House Administrative Committee Chairman Brian Stile, he's a Republican from Wisconsin, held a meeting that included Capitol Hill police and focused on things staffers can do to lessen the chances of becoming targets of criminals. Stile said there's no indication that crime is being reduced in our nation's capital, so people are working to make sure they are protected. Staffers were advised against wearing jewelry on public transportation services in the city and given advice on how to position their vehicles at stoplights in order to avoid being carjacked. Keep this in mind, that they're telling staffers on Capitol Hill, hey, maybe you shouldn't wear watches or earrings to work. I want you to remember this the next time you hear the Democrats obsess over January 6th. Far more people are being victimized because of the crime that has been allowed to run rampant in our nation's capital by far-left liberal Democrats that run that city than the harm that was inflicted by a few jerks on January 6th that rioted on Capitol Hill. Not excusing what they did. If you hurt a police officer, right, you deserve to be prosecuted. But come on, folks. I mean, let's look at what's actually happening out there. Blue state, blue city policies, whether it be Philly, D.C., New York, wherever, harming far more people than some dope dressed up like a Viking that calls himself a shaman. It's just math.
Sorry, that was my Viking impression.
Was that was a Viking?
I guess so. I don't know what Viking
You got to sound more Nordic.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how you do that, but
I don't know. I don't have a big burly beard either, so I don't really know what that
you
means.
are the opposite of what
Viking?
I would. Yeah. I think you're the one they probably left behind in the boat.
Probably.
To act as a scout.
Probably.
Have you ever seen How to Train Your Dragon? You're like the hiccup of How to Train Your Dragon.
I've never.
Have you ever seen How to Train Your Dragon, Matt?
I have not, but I appreciate how
my
insulting this sounds, and I like it.
You got to get on it. You got to show your kid. It's a children's movie. So
Is it
watch with your
appropriate for a
kids.
4-year-old?
Yes.
All right, we'll give it a shot.
It's about dragons.
It's a Pixar movie.
It is.
My kid likes Pete the Dragon.
Yeah, he'll probably.
He'll like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's I love it. Great soundtrack too.
All right. Well, if it comes with the Bella recommendation, I mean, Bella is now like everybody's favorite person in the Rooney household based upon my text message.
Yeah, they said forget you and forget me. You know, it's all about her.
You're feeling a little butthurt tonight, Dan.
No, I'm just,
a little
you know,
you're
I
no
bring
longer
in-
the shiny penny around
You know,
here.
I try and change up the show a little bit. I mean, great that they love her. You know, try to change up the show a little bit, and just you guys are in cahoots, and I just feel like
We're not in cahoots. Bella and I didn't even know she was coming until the other day.
You knew this.
Like 48 hours ago.
Literally like last week.
I even texted him. I was like, does Matt know I'm coming? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, you told me like Thursday. Thursday or Friday.
You wait until the last minute, Daniel.
She was coming before.
Yeah.
And then we didn't have the program that
Right.
night. So I knew about that. I didn't know about tonight until, well, whatever. We're not going to argue about this. Here's something that's inarguable. The American people are over this whole Joe Biden experiment. Cut number 5. This is CBS talking to, remember, these are not just average voters. These are 2020 Biden supporters.
I think he's too old to be president right now. Like, he doesn't know what's going on right now.
I see him diminishing as far as his energy and the public life. I mean, it's like he had to drink a Monster drink or something just to stay awake. You know what I mean? Like, he's really just very tired, and the job is arduous. So, I mean, you need someone with a little more energy level. I think that will put him down.
I think he needs to be in front of voters to show that he's not the sort of doddering old man that the Republicans are trying to make him out to be.
Doddering old man they're trying to make him out to be.
Do you think he drinks caffeine, like on a regular? Do you think he's like a morning coffee person?
It's probably too much for his heart to take.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Do you think he like sits down in the Oval Office, feet up on the desk, watching, not watching, but maybe watching some cartoons?
Maybe like a nice brisk
reading a
cold glass of
newspaper.
water.
Yeah, maybe nice glass, mug of coffee. You think he does that?
A nice mug of coffee. Yeah, I think he probably does read the newspaper. Yeah. I think he probably reads only newspapers that agree with his worldview.
That's every newspaper.
Most major publications, right?
Every newspaper. All the digital ones are not.
But even some of them now have columnists calling for him to not run again.
It's crazy.
In 2024. But to the point that gentleman just made a minute ago, this whole idea that he's being portrayed as a doddering old fool, maybe it's because he is a doddering old fool. It's not the presentation of Joe Biden that's the problem. It's that the media, even those that still want him to be reelected, and they're still out there because the media is, by and large, a product of the left, they can't hide Joe Biden's doddering anymore. That's the problem. And think of it kind of like makeup, and you have a blemish before you have a photo shoot if you're a model or if you're some star that's in a movie or a play or whatever, right? They can do quite a bit, but there's some things they can't hide. They can't cover for this guy anymore. So what's going to happen in the weeks to come? I think that there is going to be an accelerated effort to try to get Joe Biden to drop from the race. That's the significance of this Washington Post poll. It is setting off panic bells and alarms all over Washington, D.C., and everywhere where Democrats are concerned about the down ballot impact, not just next year, but also this year, in places like New Jersey and Virginia where there are consequential elections.
What kind of juice do you think he likes?
What kind of juice?
Yeah.
A prune juice.
Well, that's stereotypical.
With as many things as he's got going on.
That's stereotypical, though.
Prune juice.
Yeah.
I mean, like, non-stereotypical. I mean, he definitely likes prune juice, but like any other, like, what do you think his top 3 juices are?
I think anything that comes in a box.
Apple.
Grapefruit.
Grapefruit?
Grapefruit.
Yeah, that is kind of an old person thing, right? To like scoop out the grapefruit.
Sometimes grapefruit
cottage
juice
cheese.
Good.
I said juice, not food.
Cottage cheese is disgusting. Do not hate on cranberry juice, Daniel.
Cranberry juice is an old people thing.
No, it's so good.
Unless you're mixing it with vodka, then yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm just drinking it straight up.
She likes cranberry juice.
I do. It's so good.
Okay.
New Jersey is a major producer of cranberries. Did you know that? That should have been part of your
They
fact
got the
of the week.
bogs, dude. They got the bogs.
That is like a standard New Jersey clash trip to go and see a cranberry
I
bog.
was talking about cranberry bogs today. Can we go see a cranberry bog?
Field trip?
What? Come on.
I just invited myself into this relationship, by the way. Can we take a trip to see a cranberry bog?
Yeah,
seriously.
Come on, Dan.
You showing us around?
I'd be happy to take you two to a cranberry bog.
I will go to a cranberry bog in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Can we actually stomp some cranberries?
Sure.
Like, can I get my feet wet?
We'll call up Jeff Van Drew or
Hey,
our
can
friend Mike Testa, one of our South Jersey
Can I get my feet
legislators.
wet? Can I get my beak wet in there?
Sure.
Cool.
I don't know if I'd stick your beak in.
Cool.
But your feet.
Cool.
Your beak.
Usually you wear like the rubber boots.
Yeah, the waiters.
Yeah.
Oh,
Navy Prepper, by the way, says Ovaltine and back to bed. Yeah, that's probably the safer bet.
Robert Schwartz also said warm milk. Yeah, he seems like a warm milk kind of guy.
Warm milk is disgusting. I'm sorry.
That's why he probably likes it.
Milk straight up, disgusting.
You don't like milk straight up?
No, I have to be like in the mood. Like if I'm having like cookies, I can have them with milk, but like I never am like I just want some milk. No.
I could see
I like
that.
chocolate.
Chocolate milk is
Like
different.
chocolate milk straight up. Strawberry
Yeah.
milk, disgusting.
Yes.
Don't even give it to me.
Oh,
That's-
I love strawberry
That's
milk.
heinous.
Yeah, Wawa has a really
I
good
don't-
strawberry milk.
That's disgusting.
My brother used to like that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that.
Disgusting.
Yeah, you're disgusting.
I was told vanilla milk
Yeah.
is good too.
Vanilla milk?
Yeah.
I mean, I would drink like a vanilla latte. It's
Ah.
basically the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just with caffeine in it.
With a little bit of coffee in it.
Yeah, I mean, I know Dan's a big pumpkin spice guy.
No.
Anything pumpkin.
No.
Daniel doesn't like coffee.
I don't.
It's so weird. The only coffee he'll drink is the iced caramel
Ice,
coffee from
caramelized coffee from Dunkin', or a
Dunkin'.
mocha mint from Wawa. Those are the only two that I would drink.
Yeah, which is
That's
so
it.
weird.
That's it.
There's a lot that's weird about him.
Dude, can we not?
We'll devote a program sometime.
We have
to
a
just
whole.
uncovering
We
the
still
weirdest
have.
things
We
about
still
you.
have more show to get to.
It's my fault.
Let's get to the show.
No,
not
Bella, this is great content.
not just spend the last half hour just roasting Dan. It's not what the show is.
I'm not roasting you.
That's often 50% of what
All
the
right,
show
Mr.
is.
Big Lawyer Fox News guy over here.
Big boss man.
How come you haven't played any of Big Boss Man's clip?
You haven't
of
called
my,
for
of,
it.
Of my appearance.
You haven't called for it. We haven't got to it.
Because you're supposed to do it. Be like, hey, Matt, that was a great appearance. Let's play some of it. You know, if I have to do it myself, then it looks vainglorious.
Well, I don't. You got to call for the clip. I'm not just gonna play a clip.
Oh,
Just randomly.
okay. Now all of a sudden,
You do that sometimes.
you
though,
need my
Daniel.
approval. Yes, exactly.
That's hockey's. It's
Make
different.
it make sense.
It's hockey's.
Make it make sense.
Well, Matt, we have the clip of you and Jesse Waters. Do you want to play it now?
See, now he's just making me look ridiculous. Bella, this is so unprofessional.
so
I'm
rude.
sorry you have to see this. Do we have to break?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break, and maybe we'll play some of it when we come back, and maybe Dan's attitude will improve while we're playing some ads. Because
That's
these
not changing.
advertisers, they pay your massive inflated salary, Daniel.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. That's what I was told. Here on the Matt Rooney Show, 855-839-1210. Back in a sec.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Use your vehicle less in September. Walk or bike to close destinations and enjoy more time outdoors. When we each share a one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Don Stensland weekdays 10 till noon. Dom's here down on noon till 3. Free speech lives here. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Dan, do we have our major breaking news music?
Not really.
I did that on purpose.
We don't got anything.
Because during the break, you're like, oh my God, OMG, breaking news.
Yeah, we're really low budget on this program.
All you have to do is press a button.
Breaking news. There you go.
That's pretty good.
Breaking news.
Tell us what the news is, Dan. Who's dating who? Why don't you
hold
dish?
on.
Why don't you dish on the deets?
Travis Kelce and T Swizzle are now a thing.
What?
Yeah, who really cares?
I kind of care just because I like the Kelsey brothers.
Cool.
Fan of Jason, obviously.
Cool.
He's a big Jersey Shore guy. He's down there all the time. So
Great.
maybe T Swift will be down at the Jersey Shore even more than she already is.
Well, now all of a sudden she's a Chiefs fan. So she was an Eagles fan. Now all of a sudden she's a Chiefs fan. So
that's pretty low. A relationship should not change your football allegiance. It shows a lack of center. The upside is we're now likely at some point when Taylor Swift breaks up with Travis, we're going to get a song about him.
We're going to get an album.
Maybe a whole album, yeah. Since they're brothers here, there might be enough material for that. So we have that to look forward to, I guess.
Are you a Swiftie?
I am not a Swiftie.
Okay.
I am not a Swiftie. My wife went with some of her family and friends to see her. I would not pay for it. I don't hate the T-Swift. I just don't get the appeal. There's nothing special about it. Like, if you told me, hey, like, Taylor Swift's coming, like, $75 a ticket, I might say, like, okay, whatever. It's a night out, right? You could easily blow that at a bar, right? Go hear some music, see somebody famous. What they're charging for her tickets? Nah. There's very few artists I would pay that kind of.
They're like $2,000.
That's like a whole,
2
months of rent.
You want to talk
mortgage
about
payment.
You could take a weekend vacation someplace decent for $2,000.
I was gonna say, you want to talk about concert tickets? Your girl's right here.
I will blow big money on concert tickets, and I have blown big money on concert tickets. I'm a very avid concert connoisseur.
But not for T-Swift.
Not for T-Swift. It depends.
No. My all-time favorite is Billy Joel. I love Billy Joel. I wanted to go see him in residency up at Madison Square Garden. I did not do it.
Big Journey guy.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I love classic rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first concert ever, by the way. I saw Journey, REO Speedwagon, and Styx.
REO Speedwagon.
REO Speedwagon. I went primarily for Journey and Styx, but, REO Speedwagon was in there, too.
My first concert was One Direction.
Really?
Yeah, I was 12. I saw One Direction at the Link.
And you'll never forget it.
I couldn't tell you a single thing that happened. I know 5 Seconds of Summer opened for them, and I was like, oh, Mom, I want to go see them. She said, nah, by the time they come back, you won't even like them anymore.
And sure enough, Mom knows.
She was right.
Mom knew.
She was right.
I told Dan just last week you're going to get over One Direction eventually. He's not quite there.
No.
That's not what
He's in denial.
That's not a thing.
He's in denial.
That's not a thing that was said.
I'll turn you on to One Direction. Just because it's not my music taste anymore doesn't mean I don't listen.
No. I wanted to go see Aerosmith at the Wells Fargo Center.
I would see Aerosmith.
Beginning of September. They're on the big farewell tour, but I was away, sadly.
Well, if it's anything like most of these artists, there will be another farewell tour at some point.
I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying about My Chemical Romance.
Steven Tyler's getting up in there in age.
When does that ever stop them? These guys go until they drop.
I mean, you got The Cure, who's like on his deathbed.
I saw The Cure. He is not. He's 64. Does he look good for his age? No, but he is 64, and I think that he's still got a couple more runs in him.
It does catch up with him, though. Bruce recently had to cancel some dates.
Oh, please.
Well, especially when you get to Bruce's age, given that his singing style is that, like, grunting like you're on the toilet.
Man literally has a cough. And he's
trying
like,
to cancel the show. I mean, 3-4 hours.
Yeah, and then you have
Gypsy Queen knife. That'll take it out of you.
You have his guitar player saying, "Oh, he's canceling because of the U.S. government." Like, shut up.
No, he's canceling because he's old.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a little bit more entertainment news for you.
Nice.
Ghostbusters fans, the two of you?
Not really.
No?
Maybe the original.
Yeah, the original maybe, but
yeah, the original. I mean, I thought maybe because I know that Dan, you kind of like Halloween, paranormal,
he's
that kind of
so
stuff.
weird with what movies he has seen and hasn't seen.
He hasn't seen Rocky.
You haven't seen Rocky?
Nope.
No. He's a producer at a Philly station, and he has not seen Rocky. It blows.
I'm so disappointed in you right now.
It blows my mind. Who are you going to call
if you
have a
Rocky?
question about movies?
Yes.
Not Dan.
Sorry.
I have.
There's no reason to apologize, Dan. We're all
We
friends
have a list.
here.
We're just going to add it to the list.
Well, don't add Leslie Jones's Ghostbusters.
I heard that was terrible.
It was not just garbage. It's if you took garbage and lit it on fire.
Which one is that one?
After irradiating
It's like
garbage.
the newest one. It's like Leslie Jones.
Oh, is it
Kate
with
McKinnon.
the kids? Or no?
No.
No?
No, the one with the kids was okay.
I was going to say, that one I'd go
It had
see,
Paul Rudd.
but-
That was decent. No, Leslie Jones is when they tried to go kind of like Woke Busters instead of Ghostbusters, and it was an all-female ensemble.
Oh, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yes. Which, again, the new movie that we mentioned a minute ago with Paul Rudd had a female Ghostbuster, and, that's cool. She was a great little actor, and I say little because she's a kid. But it's when they do it with no regard for the plot, like Leslie Jones's garbage. It doesn't work because it's obvious what it is.
We
They
gotta stop
pick a
with
woke outcome and they work back.
We got to stop with remakes too. I'm tired of remakes.
Too many
There's
remakes.
only select remakes that I like Rob Zombie's
Gun
Halloween.
Maverick.
Yes,
great remake.
Top Gun
but
Maverick.
that was a sequel. That wasn't a remake. That's a sequel.
It's a sequel, yeah.
But stop with the remakes.
Well, I get what Bella's saying though. Some things should just be allowed to die.
Stop with the sequels too.
No, I liked Top Gun. I saw it like 4 times in theaters.
I thought it was good.
I even spent the money to go see it in that 4D. So worth it.
Yeah, but generally speaking, they beat things to death. They
Yeah.
resurrect things that don't need to be.
Like Harry Potter.
Are they bringing that back now?
They have
They had
been
a spin-off
like
series.
couple movies. It takes place before the Harry Potter timeline, which is cool, but
Oh, the Cursed Child, is that what you're talking
yeah,
about?
that and the
Yeah.
Fantastic Beast stuff too.
Oh,
I don't-
those movies. The first one was okay. The other one,
Yeah.
I
Crimes of
actually fell
Grindelwald.
asleep in the movie theater.
I literally love Harry Potter. I grew up on it, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I like the books. I like the books. But Leslie Jones, it doesn't matter whether this is a movie or a book, it doesn't matter. She is still angry about the reaction that people had to Ghostbusters.
Didn't that movie come out years ago?
Yeah, and she's still butthurt about it. There's an article the other day, Bounding into Comics, continues to lash out, describing them, the critics of her movie, as sad keyboard warriors living in their mother's basement. That's actress Leslie Jones, who also says that they're racist and misogynist for not liking her movie. It was just a terrible movie. But I thought it was funny and noteworthy that this movie is now years old and she's still ticked off about it.
It's Halloween time. People are gonna start watching movies again. So
And it's not one that's going to be in the Pantheon.
Nope.
Just like the new Hocus Pocus. We spent half a show on that last year.
Yeah.
That was, oh, God.
Hocus Pocus 2, terrible.
Yes. And Bette Midler was old in the first one. And you would think that looking decrepit would be an okay look for a witch.
And Sarah Jessica Parker just looks like a horse, you know.
Unpopular opinion, I did like the second Hocus Pocus.
Did you really?
Yes.
You're the only person that did.
I know.
Seriously?
My mom and I watched it together. Maybe it was because my mom and I watched it together.
I don't think that's
Maybe
We
that's
were
what
like,
it
oh,
was.
This is cute. This is cute.
I think you're just telling yourself that.
I don't know.
Maybe you were just I don't know, what's that phrase? The Gen Z phrase? You were vibing on the nostalgia
Yeah.
together.
That works.
Did I use that correctly?
I don't know. I've never heard anybody use that. But I'll take it.
Can I get a ruling?
I'll make it.
That's not a thing.
All right, whatever. Fine. I tried. I tried to connect with you young people, and look what it gets me. So maybe I can do this as a peace offering. We do this every show against my better judgment. At the end of the program, so Dan continues to show up, I dispense with serious topics, and I turn everything over to him. And what's the segment called, Dan?
Hey guys, gather round. Gather round.
It's Twit Talk time.
Oh,
Re-
God help us.
Real quick on the YouTube, everyone's saying is that Aerosmith always sucks live. So there's that. William
I can't speak to that, but some bands and groups and artists are like that.
Yeah, William Kent said Aerosmith sucked the 2 times I saw them. Robert Schwartz said Aerosmith always sucks live. They got booed off the stage at a concert I was at. So a lot of people not liking them live. So
Okay.
Consensus.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, that happens. I don't even know where to start. I really don't.
Well, make sure we prioritize Bella's contributions.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
they're
we-
probably superior.
Okay. Yeah.
Besides the fact that we want to be polite because she's our guest.
I mean, if you want to, we can do that if you want.
Yeah.
Well, Bella found our new theme song.
We've been needing one of them.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
We've only been on for 2.5 years and we still
Right.
don't have a song.
Right. So she found our new theme song. I want your approval before we air it, but here you
Well,
go.
let's do this live.
Yeah.
Gay, come on, gay, gay. 'Cause gay means happy, and happy means gay, 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 gay. I'm gay in a happy way. I'm gay in a happy way. Don't you think the other way? Yeah, I don't need a slave, and I don't need a babe. It's every day. It's Christmas Day. I'm gay in a happy way. I'm gay.
Done. It's adopted. Motion passes.
Okay. Well, there you go.
That is no business slapping, but it
It's-
really does. I want a better audio version of
The
that.
video is so much better because this guy has like this weird hat on. I don't even know. It looks like ears. And he's just hitting a ukulele, not even strumming the ukulele. He's just hitting it.
So there you go. There's our new theme song.
Well, let's see if we can get in touch with him and get a better recording. Because that is the new Matt Rooney show.
I don't know, it
It's
seems
not
like
just a theme; it's more of an anthem.
It's someone who was like probably in like New York or something. Like he was probably drugged or high. Or
No, maybe he's just happy.
maybe he might be gay.
Yeah, he's just happy and gay.
Yeah. Did you know that Trump was transitioning?
I didn't.
Well,
that's a novel move.
Yeah, he's transitioning. All right. Well, according to this person,
Stop making fun of Donald Trump's weight or masculinity.
Donald Trump is a fat woman. He is a fat girl. He is a fat girly girl who is a female, and he is fat.
That's somebody who's not happy and gay.
I can't stop laughing at that video every time I see it.
How old is that person?
I don't know, they got to be like at least, I don't know, 18, 19 maybe.
Girl,
18, 19, really?
That video is kind of old. It came out like last year, I think. And I think she's probably like 18, 19.
Trump is a fat woman.
Is a
A
fat
girly
woman.
girl.
So there you go. Trump is
Rejecting that gender binary.
Yeah, there you go.
How progressive.
Yeah.
So far, so good, Bella.
Well, those are only two.
Yeah,
contributions,
you
so.
only let me send him 2.
Yeah, I didn't know. I said send me whenever you want. So
I mean, the one was like, hit it right out of the ballpark.
He said, send me that.
Did you know that Philly is like a tropical paradise? Did you know that?
I mean, maybe the rain part this weekend, but
Well, according to some people on TikTok, it's the Bahamas.
Bruh, I didn't know they had palm trees in Philly. Oh yeah, Philly like the Bahamas.
I mean, we have like the crime rate of Haiti. I don't know if I'd say the Bahamas.
Oh yeah, Philly like the Bahamas.
Philly's like the Bahamas.
I want to know what part of Philly he was in.
If it's like the Bahamas, probably like, I don't know.
I don't know where.
Probably south.
I'm not
I can't even imagine.
familiar enough with Philly geographically to
Neither
be able to
am
say
I.
this.
I mean, it might be Philly's only play because if you're going to be this crime-ridden cesspool, then maybe just plant some palm trees.
Oh yeah, Philly like the Bahamas.
Yeah, because planting palm trees will make it so much better.
I guess maybe just try to fool the senses a little bit, you know?
Everyone on the YouTube is saying they like Bella. She should be a weekly thing.
Thank you, guys.
That's not going to happen.
This is the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. It's
Why
going
should-
right to my head.
Why shouldn't it happen?
That's not going to happen.
I mean, she's got better things to do, but
Sure.
I would vote for it. I'm taking this up with Stalker. I'm going over Dan's head.
Okay.
Don't worry about it, Bella. We're getting you a contract.
The
It's going to
YouTube-
get inked this week.
That's what I like to
The
hear.
YouTube
Yes.
numbers have been better since she's been on.
I cannot
saying.
believe you're undermining your own girlfriend
Yeah, Daniel. What the
because
heck?
you're so jealous and petty.
I'm not jealous or petty.
You're gonna cry yourself to sleep tonight about that.
I might.
It's okay. Don't
Make
come
sure you
crying to me.
record it. I need a new
Anyway,
hotkey.
there's more Twit Talks we have going on. Did you know Biden also has a mug coming out? Like I guess he has a shop. Like Fetterman has a shop, but he has a shop as well.
For his warm milk?
For his cranberry juice.
Well, he on the Democratic official TikTok page, Biden was I guess, I don't know, advertising his mug, and he was pouring hot water into it. Just hot water.
Just
Maybe
hot
he was
water.
making tea.
Was there lemon or anything in there?
I don't know. He was
Some
pouring
people just drink hot water and
kettle
lemon.
into the mug, and this is.
I think you should buy this mug. I'll ask you nicely, but he won't.
I don't like how oddly sexual that was.
I think that one went over my head.
Daddy owes you.
There's nothing to go over your head. He's just saying.
Maybe he's a tea bag
I'm
in the
gonna
mug
pour-
you just can't see.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on this one.
I think he's just advertising his mug.
Sometimes I have tea bags that don't have strings on them, so.
Maybe that's what it is. Although he often has trouble finding his way off stages.
We got to hear it one more time.
Yeah, let's hear it one more time.
I think you should buy this mug. I'll ask you nicely, but he won't.
That gave me the icks.
See, Bella said she didn't like how sexual that was.
That gave me the icks.
I thought it was a threat.
Oh, see, maybe it's me.
Well, here's the deal. So I just looked this up.
I'll ask you, but he won't.
You can get on the shop.joebiden.com.
Why are his eyes like that?
You can get it on shop.joebiden.com. Dark roast mug, $22, and it says the original, and it has a picture of Joe Biden with like fiery laser eyes and says 2024 on it.
It's like red eye. It's kind of scary.
That whole dark Brandon thing
Also,
they're
no
obsessed
way.
with.
That's so scary.
So there's also I did find the mug. It's a dark roast color changing mug for $32.
Ain't no way I'm paying $32 for a mug.
Yeah, so like
It's so appropriate though that the inflation president is pushing a $32 mug.
So it's like okay
For
so
$32,
it's a picture of
you
his
should
face.
get like 30 cups of coffee.
That's why he poured hot water in it.
It's a picture of his face, but it has his aviators on that he thinks he looks so baller in. But when you pour a dark roast, it changes it to
hot
its laser
water.
eyes. Yeah.
Because I have a mug like that, and
Yeah.
it does that. But it was a Doctor Who mug. So
Do you think the Biden people know that everyone is always laughing at them?
I don't know. I kind of want the mug now.
I mean, the dude has like,
$32 mug?
No, I'm not paying
We don't pay
$32.
Dan enough. He
all
can't
I'm
get that
saying
for you.
is he has like 6 mugs on his website.
I'm not paying $32 for it, but I want it for the funnies.
It's a bestseller.
I don't.
Says
for
who?
$32.
It says his website.
I bet it does.
He also has a Joe signature mug, so it's literally just him signing it. If you want that too.
Yeah, I'll
Purchase
pass.
his donation to Biden Victory Fund. So there you go.
I'd buy a Fetterman hoodie before I bought a Joe Biden $32 mug.
Anyway.
Because, hey, I mean, sometimes maybe you break down in Kensington, you need to pass as a drug addict, and then you want a John Fetterman hoodie.
My mom used to work in Kensington.
Did she?
As a teacher.
I hope she. Oh my God, we should have her on next.
Yeah, she's not. She's at a good school now, and she's not a teacher anymore. But
Thank God. Like, I don't even know your mom, but I immediately got worried for her safety.
yeah, yeah.
All right, Dan, what else you got for us?
Do you know Baja Blast?
Baja Blast?
Yeah, like the Taco Bell exclusive Mountain Dew.
It's not that good.
No.
You're not missing out on
I've
it.
never, I've never had that.
Okay, so it's an exclusive to Taco Bell only.
I never really get the drink there. I
Neither
always
do
just
I.
get the. I'm a fan of the gordita.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big quesadilla they got there, but it's a Mountain Dew thing, exclusive to Taco Bell, and apparently you can get it in stores in the summertime, but now apparently it's only for trans people.
Really?
Apparently, according to this guy.
So this is kind of like how the Grimace Shake became like an LGBTQ 1, 2, 3, 8, 3, 2.
I guess so.
Plus minus.
But the thing is, you can't find the Baja Blast in stores anywhere. So I guess the trans
so all the
community's
trans people have
out of luck.
Drank it on down.
Hello, trans community. You can now buy Baja Blast on Amazon. I haven't seen it in any stores yet, though. It is a limited time only. Be evil. Be gay.
What?
Kieran used to drink that. My mom used to buy cases of that for him.
Yeah, a lot of people like Baja Blast. That's
Yeah.
okay. It's not the best. It's fine.
Is it just something that trans people like to drink, or does it actually help you transition?
No, it's not good. It's really not that good. Some people die by it. Some people like literally hate it. I've not seen any in between though. I do not like it. I've tried.
So if you're trying to promote this whole trans thing, wouldn't you pick a better tasting beverage?
Yeah.
Something that people would actually want.
A lot of people do love it.
Yeah,
like I
it's
will
like
say,
there's like a cult behind it.
yeah, it a lot of people really do love it. There's a very niche knit of community of people who don't like it.
A niche thing that's kind of cultish.
Yeah.
Maybe it is appropriate. The more I think about it.
Yeah. Apparently,
By the way, I should throw this out there. Next week we'll talk about this, or next time we're on. A few more school districts in New Jersey have rejected Phil Murphy's guidance that they can't tell parents when a child is trying to use different pronouns and everything at school. 2 more school districts out of Monmouth County. So just wanted to throw that out there because we try to stay abreast
sneak
of that
peek
story.
for next week.
Yes,
Yeah.
sneak peek.
We are going our whole lives using white inventions. However, this TikToker is going a day without using white inventions.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to like it, but I got it.
A day in the life without white inventions. Because y'all stay mad. Starting off by doing my hair, I already know today's going to be a good day. I don't have to worry about being hate crime.
Let's just say a comb was also made by a white person.
So I can wear my equality pride shirt, since the colonizers aren't around to force their closed-minded ideals down our throats. Sunshine and freedom is a top-tier combination. I'm taking a drive on this nice sunny day.
Cars are also made by white people.
Since I don't have to worry about the police stopping me for driving while black, because the slave patrol haven't been invented yet. Damn, those badges look familiar. I'm ending my day with a nice stroll through my neighborhood in my favorite hoodie and not have to worry about being shot because of white fragility and racism. Today was such a peaceful day. I'll be back tomorrow to tell you about.
Daniel, you're being such a white colonizer right now.
I guess so.
Fragility, white fragility. Yeah. I'm familiar with Dan fragility.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen much evidence of white fragility.
I do got one more if you want to hear it.
I feel bad for that person. Yeah. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, imagine going through your entire life and seeing imaginary white supremacists hiding behind every bush. It's just, ick. Do we have time for one more?
I do got one more.
Okay.
If you want it.
Squeeze it in.
I went to a family reunion recently, and
Yo.
there was this female that I've never met. Ended up hitting it, and then come to find out, my mom told me she's one of my second cousins.
You know not to have sex at a family reunion, man. You know it. I mean, I don't know what's going on in the world where you have to call in that people are doing sex with family. I mean, how many years we have to learn this rule? How many times do we have to learn this rule as a society that you can't have sex with a member of your family because it isn't safe genetically, bub? You're going to give birth to a hot air balloon with legs, dog. You're going to give birth to something that's going to live in a lava lamp, bub. And God don't want that. And you don't want that. You don't want to babysit a lava lamp. You don't want somebody wheeling your kid across and he's, and he just got a little lava in him and he can barely make the lava to say the words dad maybe once a year. You don't want that.
Words to live by from Theo Vaughn. He does realize we wouldn't have a British family, though, right? If family members didn't occasionally have sex with family members.
No, that's what I got for you in Foot Talk.
Just throwing that out there. Yeah. Well, it was pretty good. And it was even better because it had Bella contributions. Bella, thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Matt.
Do not be a stranger. Everyone wants you back, myself included.
Of course.
Producer Dan, you did an okay job.
Thanks.
Come
Thanks,
back.
Man.
Come back if you want, no pressure.
Sure.
Thank you to everyone that listened, everybody who watched. Until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and keep fighting for that greatest nation in God's creation. It's worth it.